Sheeeit Radio.
That was fucking great, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sheeeit Radio. I'm Brasky. I'm joined, of course, by Wasted.
Hello.
And Liarz.
Yo.
All right, audience, we're going to have times... Oh, okay. Audience, we're going to have timestamps listed below, so you can go to any of the topics we talk about tonight. You can skip right towards them if you don't want to listen to the whole show. If you do, thank you. If you like what we're doing, please let us know in the comments. If you don't like what we're doing, please let us know in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe. Click that notification bell so you'll be notified when we upload a new episode. We try to do one every 2 weeks. Our first topic tonight is going to be, what is our favorite one-hit wonders? Liarz, what's your favorite one-hit wonders?
It depends on who you ask. Like legit one-hit wonders, like rock and roll. If we're going rock and roll one-hit wonders, uglykidjoe for me is the number one with Hate Everything About You. I don't think they had another song after that, and if they did, it damn well didn't reach the success that song did. So I'm going to go with Everything About You by uglykidjoe.
That's a great song. I remember it as a kid. I was in elementary school, and I remember we used to point at the kids and tell the other kids that we hated everything about them. I don't think we can just do rock. The problem with one-hit wonders, and you're going to find this out tonight when we talk about the topic, is a lot of the websites that have lists of, like, here's the greatest one-hit wonder songs. You go over and you realize, wait a second, these artists had other hits. They might not have been, number ones, but they were successful. And it makes really finding a true one-hit wonder very difficult. Instead of, your common ones, which is like, oh, man, what about 867-5309? You can call Jenny anytime. Okay, well, obviously that one everyone knows. But when you get deeper and deeper into it, it's hard to find them. So we got fucking uglykidjoe as your first one-hit wonder. I Hate Everything About You. Liarz, what's another one-hit wonder you really enjoy?
Well, according to my list, I was very surprised to see this. Loubega, Mambo number 9.
I'm not surprised. Mambo number 5, buddy.
So, what did I say?
Number 9.
I'm looking at it right now. It's right in front of me. I don't know why I said 9. My apologies.
I don't need to apologize. We live in this world that we're going through right now. A simple mistake like that does happen. But Mambo number 5 might be one of the most annoying songs, going with the Macarena from the 90s that was ever made. But it does get stuck in your head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, the pop one-hit wonders. They seem to be more like pure one-hit wonders than some of the rock ones.
Yeah, for some reason I can see Wasted being in a Taiwanese bar singing Mambo number 5 karaoke.
Living La Vida Wasted.
Oh, living? Oh, fucking... Wait a second here. Have you literally changed the words to Living La Vida Loca to Living La Vida Wasted?
Yeah, I think that's like a one-hit wonder, I think. But all his fans will say that he has lots of hits, but I only know Living La Vida Loca. Is it Ricky Martin?
I'm pretty sure he had another one. All right, yeah, Ricky Martin. Oh, She Bangs. No.
Yeah, She Bangs. That's what it is. I'm frantically looking it up, but that's what it was. She Bangs.
No,
yeah,
I thought the little Asian kid. Do you remember the little Asian kid on American Idol, William Hung? Yeah. He did the She Bang.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I think we talked about that, didn't we? Yeah, a long time ago.
Well, you have to. That man's a legend. I mean, I hope he's still singing that right now at a retirement home somewhere.
Man.
Or on a Carnival cruise ship. But, all right, so Liarz, we got 2 from you. What's going to be your last one? Because I had you guys make lists, and you guys got about 3. I'm going to deliver with like 9. So, what's your last one?
I'm going to come back with a very controversial one. Just because of the huge following this band has. But it's very niche, and it's very, they're not mainstream at all. But they had one top 40 hit in their career, and that was the Grateful Dead Touch of Grey. So if we're talking about hits on the Billboard charts, I'm going the Grateful Dead Touch of Grey as a one-hit wonder because it was their only song to chart in the top 40.
Yeah, because the only song I know Grateful Dead is something called Trucking or something.
Trucking, and that's their second closest to the top 40. That came in at number 64 on the Billboard charts. So
yeah, it's not really a hit.
Yeah, no, not quite the hit, but Touch of Grey was, because it went all the way to number 9, right? And it went number 9 on the top 40 hits. And back in the day,
that didn't go number 1.
No, number 9.
Wow.
According to my info right here, what I have in front of me, it went to number 9.
That's surprising because, I mean, everyone knows that song.
Everybody knows that song. Yeah. And the thing is that when you say that the Grateful Dead may be a one-hit wonder, I don't even think the Deadheads would be upset if we called the Grateful Dead a one-hit wonder, because everything about the Grateful Dead was anti-establishment and flower power and hippie love and stuff. So they didn't want to be the driving force on the Billboard Top 40. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I might be too emotional of a person because every time I hear the Grateful Dead or someone talks about the Grateful Dead, I think of a former compadre of ours, our former website that we all used to be on, which launched from the Fatcast on that website, and was a constant guest on the Fatcast. I always think of JB, John Bonham, every time we talk Grateful Dead. And I remember the episode his first episode I had him on, I used to do actual like regular music instead of having the intro we have now. And I chose a Grateful Dead song. I chose Friend of the Devil. And
right.
That's definitely my favorite Grateful Dead song. And I always think of JB when I hear that song. But yeah, I mean, that's a really good choice. Surprising that's their only hit.
Yeah,
What's up, bud?
Yeah. I thought you were talking about King Mario. Sorry, my mistake.
Oh, he is King Mario. I mean, listen, when you link an Instagram post of yours, so in a thread, and then when you click on it, it says your real name. It's like you're not really hiding that incognito.
Right.
If you're listening, King Mario, turn on your PMs, bro. It's time to get over this shit. The rest of the world's burning right now, and past is the past, and hopefully you can see the truths of truths. And we're ready to move on, and we'd love to have you back on. But the Grateful Dead, yeah, it's a great choice. Yeah, dude, Touch of Grey rules. I'm sorry. If you're ever having a bad day, you just put that song on. It's a great song. Wasted?
I agree.
I'm going to go to you next because I'm going to give you guys so many one-hit wonders. And the funny thing is most of mine are going to make you want to shake your ass.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Yeah, mine are mostly, a couple of them have a British slant. So it had a band in the 1990s called EMF with a song called Unbelievable. It actually went to number 1 in the US. I think it went like maybe number 30 in the UK. EMF it stood for Epsom Mad Funkers, which was the name of another band's fan club, but everybody knew what it really stood for: ecstasy, mother, So that song had the chorus was like, "You're unbelievable." Oh,
that was Andrew Dice Clay.
Yeah, the sample was from Andrew Dice Clay. I think the guitarist went over to the US to do promo, and he needed he needed to get Def Jam to sign off on that sample, the O part. And I don't know if this is believable, but he said he bumped into Rick Rubin in a bar, and Rick Rubin said just fax the office in the morning, and he okayed it. So you've got that sample from Andrew Dice Clay. They also sampled the Black Panthers on it for the WTF part. I mean, they were pretty big for, like, in 1991. Axl asked them to tour with Guns N' Roses. He was talking about them. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. They had this album called Schubert Dip. I mean, the guitarist is like a classical guitarist, and the singer Atkins, he was into like Detroit techno and Chicago house. So, but it's really like a sort of pop. They're like a pop Faith No More or Chili Peppers at the time.
So basically what you're telling us, Wasted, is that Chris Pittman wasn't the first choice for Axl. It was the dude from EMF.
Yeah, Ian Dench, I think, is the guitarist, and Atkins was the singer. But they kind of disappeared after that. They had another song, like another single, just totally didn't really chart at all, called I Believe, you know. And then after that album, they had another album called Stigma, I think, and that just did nothing. So, but they did have a number one US, you know, Billboard Hot 100 single in the US. So in 1991, they were big, and then they just, you know. But I saw some.
Do you like that song, Wasted?
It's just something, you know. I was really young when that came out. I had that album on a.
No, you weren't.
Tape with the. Yeah, I was. I was probably like 16, 17 when Unbelievable came out in the US.
You're lying. I know how old you are.
Sorry?
I know how old you are. You're lying.
Am I? No, I'm not. Definitely when I was like watching Top of the Pops at home is when they were on. They were like
what year did it come out?
Rock. 1990 is the single, I think, and 1991 is. So I was, you know, and you know.
Okay, so yeah, no, you were no. I stand corrected. You were a teenager. I stand corrected.
Yeah.
I just thought it came out later.
Top of the Pops at home. You know, it was before I really got into rock music. It's kind of like indie dance rock. You know,
it's shit.
And
it's horrible.
It's a pop song. You know,
it's a horrible pop song.
I think it's a fun song, and the O thing always makes me laugh. The Dice Clay because everybody
better if you want to do it better. This isn't on my list, Wasted.
Sorry.
We love the Dice Man. Don't get me wrong here, but that this isn't on my list. But Right Said Fred, Too Sexy is way funnier than as a pop song than this.
Yeah.
But that's not on my list because I don't like the song. So the songs I'm going to give you guys, I actually like. But Right Said Fred, I'm Too Sexy is way funnier than EMF's Unbelievable. Unbelievable just was. It sounds like it was made for a commercial. I believe it wasn't commercials.
But yeah, it's just something. It's like one-hit wonders, and sometimes really just like nostalgic. Just something that you remember from like when we were kids. You know, everybody. You know, there were a few bands in around that time, like the Carter, the Unstoppable Sex Machine, and Wonder Stuff, and Ned's Atomic Dustbin, and EMF, and everybody was into them. But it was like they're like limbo bands. You know, grunge came and just totally destroyed them, and these small English kind of punk indie rock bands just disappeared. But you know, at a particular time, we all had our sideways EMF baseball caps on.
Well, yeah.
Another one is the There She Goes by thelas. I mean, it predated Britpop by about 4 years, but every band that formed a Britpop band always mentioned thelas being why they started a band. I think it's a really catchy guitar pop song. Before it really was popular, in 1988, they were doing this kind of like 60s like melodies and rhythms. So it's a very like influential album, but that one song is just like so well known in the UK anyway. And the thing with it is that like even Noel said that Noel Gallagher Oasis said that he wanted to he wanted to finish what the Lars started. So even like Oasis, they're from Liverpool rather than Manchester, but and because the singer Lee Mavers, he's like a real maverick like character, like he's in the same mold as Syd Barrett, or he has this image of Syd Barrett or Brian Wilson in his recording of the album. He's just like a perfectionist. So every time recording the album from which There She Goes came from, it took forever, because if anything wasn't how he heard it in his head, he basically scraps it. And then after 1990, when the album came out, he never recorded any more of his songs in the studio. So this sort of myth built up around him with all these weird stories. He was very eccentric, like just disappeared from the music industry. Like one of the rumors was that in the he collected authentic 60s dust to sprinkle on all the instruments whenever he recorded. So
what kind of dust?
Yeah, like authentic 60s dust.
I think he means angel dust.
Yeah. No, there's all these rumors, that he was on. I mean, the There She Goes song has this sort of thing. Is it about Brown or H? There she goes, racing through my heart. Pumping through my veins, pulsing through my veins. So there's this. Where did he go after 1990? So he doesn't even do interviews. And when he did do an interview, he said he wanted to re-record the whole album that the Lars debut.
I mean, am I the only one seeing the parallels here between him and Axl Rose and "Think About You" by Izzy Stradlin?
The perfectionist. Nobody can work with him. The bass player, John Powers, he's more pragmatic. He left the Lars because they just weren't doing anything, and formed Cast, which are more like a Britpop band, but a later one, like in '95 or '6. They had like a top 10 hits, like Fine Time, and the one I remember is Sandstorm. But they're just like the same kind of thing, but just a lot less like experimental. If you listen to the Lars album, it's like authentically almost. It does sound like something that was made in the '60s rather than in the '90s. The late '80s.
Wasted. You're the only person I know out of anyone I've ever met in my life that could have gone this in depth about EMF's unbelievable. It's impressive, buddy. You're unique. You're one in a million.
There She Goes.
Well, There She Goes. I'm sorry. I get confused with all the stuff we just, you're bringing. I should have stayed more on track, but even There She Goes, Wasted. I don't even know the song. Look how in depth you're going on it. Like, I'm impressed. Like, they just merged together to me. So I just wanted to say I was impressed, and now I look like a jackass. But hey, folks, I got a spoiler alert for you. I am a jackass, so there you go.
Well, maybe my last one I've got is maybe you know more about it. I don't know that much about it, but I think it is a one-hit wonder. Mississippi Queen. By the band Mountain. Like, I was reading that Leslie West, the guitarist, is like some kind of Clapton fanatic, and all the guitarists that I know more, like Slash and Eddie Van Halen, Satriani, think this Leslie West guy from Mountain is like their hero or something. And I don't think they had another hit. That album Climbing came out in the 70s or something, 70. And then Mississippi Queen, I've heard it on the GTA soundtrack and Ozzy Osbourne cover album. But I don't think I've ever heard another Mountain song on the radio.
I can't say I've ever heard a different Mountain song, but I can tell you for a fact I've heard Mississippi Queen hundreds of times because it would come on the radio, my dad'd be driving, and he'd just blare it. My dad loves Mississippi Queen, so since I've been a little boy, Mississippi Queen comes on means my dad's turned the volume up on the radio. Of course, we know it from GTA 5 because it's on Los Santos Rock Radio, hosted by the great Kenny Loggins. So I know it. My son knows it from that because he plays GTA 5. But I remember it as a little kid. My dad driving in the car, Camel Wide cigarette in his mouth, or back then it was a Marb Light. Oh, actually, I'm going to stand corrected. It was a Merit light. And he would, Mississippi Queen would come on. He rolled down the windows of his Benz and crank up Mississippi Queen. So, beautiful. Yeah, dude, I definitely know Mississippi Queen. It's a great tune. I mean, it's really hard rock for back in the day. But I don't know any other Mountain songs. So I definitely consider that a one-hit wonder. But that's a great one-hit wonder. Now, the problem you have with one-hit wonders is, like we were saying earlier, a lot of these lists will tell you, oh, yeah, these songs are one-hit wonders. And you're like, no, it's not. Like, I looked at a few lists, and they had Queensryche with Silent Lucidity being a one-hit wonder. I'm like, what about Jet City Woman? What about Operation Mindcrime? I look at another list that had Ozzy Osbourne, No More Tears, as a one-hit wonder. I'm like, wow, this person was smoking crack or had AI write this. I mean, there's just so many bands that you think are one-hit wonder songs that aren't. Like, I was going to put in, you remember the 90s band Spoonge?
No.
Okay, they have a song called Plowed. It's a song with no, seriously, and the chorus is, say a prayer for me. You know what I mean? I guarantee if you hear the song, you're like, oh yeah, dude, I know that song. Or Local H, Bounce to the Floor. You know, you just don't get it. You're so pathetic. Born to be down. Oh, listen, if I'm going to sing, our audience level is going to drop off. The comment section is going to be brutal. Like, why is this retard singing? Which, hey, maybe people will actually enjoy that. Like, I want to hear a stupid person sing. But, yeah, there's a lot of songs that I thought were one-hit wonders that are not. Like, another one, like, do you remember the 80s song, Walk the Dinosaur?
Yeah.
Okay.
Get on the floor. Everybody walk the dinosaur.
Get on the floor. Everybody here walk the dinosaur. But that was from a band called Was Not Was. And I'm like, okay, dude, that's got to be a one-hit wonder. That has to be a one-hit wonder. There's no way that's not a one-hit wonder. So I was so excited. I'm like, that's a song that gets stuck in my head. And then I look, and they had a song that charted even higher than that I've never even heard of called Spy in the House of Love.
Yeah, and they covered Papa Was a Rolling Stone as well. I had that.
Oh, I love that you know who they are. Wait.
Love this album.
Yes, of course Wade knows who they are.
Don Was they're producers. They're brothers. It's Don Was and his brother. Was Not Was. And they had that novelty here.
I just love knowing there's no doubt in my mind that Wasted was strolling the streets of London back in the day on ecstasy, cranking up Walk the Dinosaur.
Yeah, definitely. I had that tape because I heard it on I heard it on Top of the Pops or something, and then I went out and bought the album, and everybody used to look at me like, what are you listening to? But they're actually Was Not Was. I think Don Was. They produced Rolling Stones album. Pretty sure. They're pretty well-known producers, but they tried to have their own, career.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's insanity that, that's not a one-hit wonder. Like, yeah, I thought it could be, but it's not. Yeah, there's so many songs that I thought were one-hit wonders that are like, oh, yeah, no. Like, Collective Soul, Shine. I'm like, okay, they got so many songs. And then another one they had on there was Runaway Train by Soulasylum. I'm like, oh, yeah. And then, nope, they have more songs. They have more hits.
Yeah, Misery was a hit as well, I think.
Yeah, that's right. That's what it was called, yeah. A stupid fun fact about Runaway Train. So you know that AC/DC song? They have the song called Runaway Train, but the name of the song is called Rock and Roll Train?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. The reason it's called Rocket, I remember reading an interview with Angus and the lead singer, what's his name there? Brian Johnson. I was reading an interview with them, and the reason they changed the name of the song to Rock and Roll Train is because they didn't want to be associated with some wankers like Soul Asylum.
Poor Soul Asylum.
Yeah. That was the name of their band, right? That was the name of Soul Asylum, right? Yeah, so they were like, we don't, that wanker band has a song called Runaway Train, we don't want to be associated with them, so we changed it to Rock and Roll Train. Fun little fact there. Dude,
I was gonna bring out, I was gonna say the band Operator, Nothing to Lose, but then I found out they had another song that was a bigger hit. I'm like, shit. Like, all these bands that I thought were just one-hit wonders. Like, I think I'm safe if I said 7 Mary 3, Cumbersome. I'm like, all right, there's no way these fuckers had another, hit. But there were so many when looking this up. I spent hours because every band that I was like, oh, yeah, this is a one-hit wonder. Like, no, it's not.
Yeah,
it's
I had one as well.
Which one did you have, Wasted?
Well, one of those, I was like Two Princes. I thought that, spindoctors, Two Princes. I thought that was their only hit. But they had another song called Little Miss Can't Be Wrong that also charted.
Little Miss Can't Be Wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
My friend used to drive around the car and wait for the school to open, and then there would be these big puddles, and we used to drive through the puddles, spraying water over all the school kids. While listening
to the spindoctors?
Yeah.
Spindoctors, Little Miss Can't Be Wrong.
Yeah, and we just
and you just
burn through the puddles. And then all these kids would get soaked.
Little Miss Can't Be Wrong. Splash.
We felt really bad about it later. Like,
no, you didn't.
When we were older. What will we do?
When you're older, when you realize and you have regret when you're older because the poor decisions you made in your life. Yeah.
I think it was his
when they went into the strip club and they're like, hey, didn't we go to school with that girl? And then, you're talking to her, giving her one. And you find out she was traumatized in her youth by some assholes kept spraying her with fucking the car. There was a puddle and they kept driving by splashing her. So it lowered her self-esteem and, she ended up on the pole. Fucking wasted. Well, I got my list here, boys. And, I only have one or maybe two that might have other hits, but I really try to make sure they didn't. First, we're going to start off with a great 90s dance song. And I'm totally going to kill the artist's name because it sounds like he's part of Boko Haram. But here we go. Number one was Here Comes the Hot Stepper by Henny Kamoze in 1994.
I think it's Kamoze.
Kamoze.
I think it's Kamoze.
Doesn't it sound like he's on some terror list?
Inni Kamuzi, yeah.
It sounds like the Israelis just announced that they took out a member of Hamas or Hezbollah with his name.
Yeah.
But Here Comes the Hot Stepper. Come on.
That's the sort of song that they played at the Victoria's Secret fashion shows, isn't it?
Well, I don't know if they play that anymore since now Victoria's Secret's having trans models, and so Victoria's Secret's out of the bag.
Yeah. There's quite a lot of one-hit wonders that end up on catwalks and stuff. Just that one song.
I don't care. We already mentioned Right Said Fred. I'm too sexy. Yeah, do my little dance on the catwalk. On the catwalk.
They were super bold.
They were. And, dude, if those two weren't homosexuals, and I have no judgment, God bless them for being their own selves, but if those two turn out to be straight men with children, I'd be shocked.
No, I think you're right.
I think they're brothers, aren't they? Right Said Fred? I'm pretty sure.
It was definitely a DIY effort. They're like novelty pop. It wasn't like they signed to a major label. They kind of made that happen themselves, I think.
Now I got to know if they were brothers or they were a couple. Yeah, so I got to look up brothers.
Yeah.
Okay, they were.
Fred and Richard Fairbrass. Yeah.
So somehow two brothers looked at each other and went, "Wow, this is a good idea."
It was a good idea. Everybody knows that song. They got stinking rich off that song. Let me tell you.
Yeah, sure they did. But now we've found the polar opposite of the Gallagher brothers here.
I say so. They're still touring, by the way. Right Said Fred is still touring to this day.
Yeah, you give me a choice to see Right Said Fred or Duff McKagan, I'm going to go see Right Said Fred. I might be the only straight dude there, but I'm going. It's going to be a fabulous time.
Yeah, on the catwalk. Shake my little tush on the catwalk. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm a model. You know what I mean. I do my little dance on the catwalk. Yeah, that's a brain worm right there. That's one that gets stuck in your head.
Does it ever?
All right. The next one is one that's kind of like, you would think this person had more hits, but it would have been it was more collaborative if they did. They would have been appearing on another song. It would have been their own song. But this song is an old-time jam. And if you're a dude and you don't crank up this song, I don't know what to tell you. Return of the Mac by Mac Morrison, 1996.
Yeah, he's UK, isn't he? He's British, I think. Mark Morrison. Was it Mark or Mac? Return of the Mac.
Mac.
Yeah. Everybody had that album in like 93 or something. But there's only that one song.
There's a better song than like, hey, listen, your chick just dumped you. You're feeling like shit. You know, you got to get your life back together. You're going to the gym. You're starting to do the right things. You're starting to get your self-confidence back. You're cranking on Return of the Mac. It's going to make you feel good.
Yeah.
I had to look up that song because I didn't remember it, but now that I see it here, I remember it quite vividly.
Like MC Hammer.
Well, what's your vivid memory of it, Liarz?
Just the song. Like it just came back. I was, like I said, I didn't remember it, so I had to look it up, and then it just came rushing back to me. The song, my vivid memories of this song in the summertime.
Well, I apologize. Sorry. When you use the terminology quite vividly, it's like, oh, you must have had a memory that, you know, it came back like, hey, I was doing this and the song came on. It brought me back to, you know, playing basketball, this and that. Or when this song came out, I was a middle schooler. So I was like, oh yeah, boy, I'm going to get the courage to go ask that girl to dance. You know what I mean? Because
I don't have any vivid memories anymore. They're just faded away into obscurity. I'm an old man now.
Just like beers in the rain.
Like, where are my glasses?
Where are my glasses? On my fucking head. Anyway.
And getting old sucks. Yeah, so anyone that's not over the age of 40, just fair warning, guys, it doesn't get better. They lie to you. Nope. Everything starts hurting. What your grandfather told you and your parents told you, you know, they weren't lying. They were not lying. Next song I got. This one's from my hometown. This is an anthem. And you guys are going to be like, no, they had more hits. And I'm going to disagree with having more hits. But I can literally spit this song. And I'm not going to spit this song because I'd embarrass myself. But I can go lyric for lyric on this. Jump Around by House of Pain. 1992.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call House of Pain a one-hit wonder.
Okay, give me another hit.
Shamrocks and Shenanigans.
Okay, but if you're not in Chicago or Boston or you're a dirty Irishman, how do you know that song?
It got a fair bit of radio play. I remember it.
Well, I'm going to look that up. So you continue going. I'm going to look that up right now because I'm disagreeing.
Yeah. I think what did you say, House of Pain? They seem
House
to be.
Of Pain, yeah.
Yeah, people who had the Cypress Hill records also had like House of Pain sometimes.
Yes. Yeah.
The album. But buying the whole album was like, that's a big commitment.
They had Same As It Ever Was. That was another song that they had.
Nope.
Crisscross.
No, Same As It Ever Was is a different band. So,
no,
what you got right here?
I'm looking at it right now. Same As It Ever Was.
Sir, I'm looking at their singles.
Where are they from? Are they from Boston?
They are indeed. So I'm looking at their singles right now. Jump Around's clearly their big hit. And then Shamrocks and Shenanigans, they didn't meet my cutoff line. What my cutoff line was, you had a chart in the top 50 for me to consider that to be a second hit. Shamrocks and Shenanigans topped at 65 on the U.S. charts. In New Zealand, it was a hit at 18. And then their next ones was Who's the Man, that charted at 96 and 77 respectively on the U.S. charts. And then the next one they had was On Point at 85 and charted at 85 on the U.S. charts and 103 on the U.S. charts.
Same As It Ever Was an album by House of Pain.
That makes no sense.
Second album, yeah. Okay, so we getting them mixed up there.
Yeah. So I would consider, like I said earlier, because the criteria I had to use was like, hey, did it not chart over, 50? You had to chart 50 or higher for me to list you as not being a one-hit wonder. Like, if you had a song that was, charted in the top 10 and you had another one in the 40s, I'm like, man, I got to cut you out.
Well,
Because if
I mean,
not, it's going to be really difficult. Because most of these times when a band had a one-hit wonder song, the one-hit wonder carried them enough so that another song they put it as a single on the radio and it'd get airplay and would,
right.
reach, high up the charts, even though it wasn't really a hit, but it'd still be something that people would remember because the one-hit wonder was so popular.
That's the template I used for the Grateful Dead. I mean, they had the two songs, but only one of them charted in the top 40. So yeah, I completely 100% agree that on using that metric, you could consider House of Pain to be a one-hit wonder. I mean, at the beginning I didn't, but now that you explain it, I have to agree because I use the exact same formula on mine, right? So
it's why we explained at the beginning part of the show. It's hard because what I just said earlier, if a song was a one-hit wonder, then any other single on that album was going to get promoted by the radio station, seeing if they got another hit out of it. So they would automatically start rising up the chart. So if it, like I said, if it didn't get past 50, then I'm not considering it another hit. Right.
Yeah, the girl pop kind of singer, like Tiffany, I think you're alone. I think we're alone now. That's the purest form of the one-hit wonder because they don't even have an album to back it up. Well, they have an album, but there's nothing on it. It's just they have that one single that everybody knows. But
buddy, don't worry.
Rock bands have more. Like
my next one's a guaranteed one-hit wonder.
All right.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
The song's by an artist named Robert Tepper. It came out in 1986. The song's name, No Easy Way Out, from the Rocky IV soundtrack.
I think Eye of the Tiger is a one-hit wonder for Survivor, isn't it?
They're not. They're not. I thought Survivor. I went down that road too. That Survivor was a one-hit wonder, but upon further investigation, they had quite a few hits. Yeah.
The Eye of the Tiger isn't a one-hit wonder.
No,
it was the precursor to the legendary band Survivor.
I can't believe you guys aren't giving more love to No Easy Way Out. It might be the greatest montage in all of 80s films.
I don't remember the song, No Easy Way Out.
Okay, so in Rocky IV, right after Apollo Creed gets killed, Rocky goes home and he tells Adrian, listen, I gotta go fight Drago. She's like, you can't fight him. He'll kill you, Rocky. Rocky hops into his Ferrari. You start hearing the music play, turns the car on, you see the headlights pop up, he puts the car into gear with a stick shift, and they start cranking. There's no easy way out, and it's a montage of all the previous Rocky movies.
Yeah, there's no shortcut home.
Exactly, Wasted. Exactly.
I don't want to sing the song because I'll sound like an idiot.
Please do, Wasted. Please, Brent, come on, buddy. Come on.
Both me and Brasky have already sang on the show once tonight, at least. So,
Wasted, we're not indestructible.
Yeah. Oh, no way. I can't do it from there. No, it's a bad idea. I don't know the lyrics. I need to get the lyrics up in front of me to do the whole song. But it's one of those songs when you know, if you know the lyrics, you might remember it from the lyrics in the song. No Easy Way Out is not hard to recognize. It's not easy to recognize it from just that title. But I think if you heard it, you'd definitely know it straight away.
There's no easy way out. There's no shortcut home. Come on, Liarz. Come on. We opened up a fat cast to this.
I'm drawing a blank. Why am I drawing a blank? Let's see. I'll pull it up on my phone here. See, and I'll put it up to my face and see if I can.
Indestructible.
No easy way out.
There's no easy way out. There's no shortcut home.
Oh, wait.
I got it playing here.
The audience is loving this.
It's not the most standout track. When you first listen to the Rocky IV soundtrack, it's normally like a tiger that sticks out.
I got it.
How much shame do you feel now?
I do feel shame because I should have known that song. I should have recognized it because I can see the scene in the movie in my mind's eye. I can see the scene, and I can see what's her face there telling Rocky not to fight Drago because he'd kill Adrian because he'd kill him. I can see all that. I can see him getting in his car and going. I can see the headlights coming up. I just couldn't remember the song, but now I got it.
You know what creeps me out about Adrian?
What's that?
You watch the early Rocky movies, right? Like Rocky 1 and 2?
Yeah.
My wife's a dead ringer for Adrian.
Is she really?
Dude, it's almost spot on.
Really? That's great.
Yeah. I feel like I should go get a freaking bull mastiff and name him Brutus.
Yeah.
But, yeah, all right. So we got No Easy Way Out, which is a guaranteed one-hit wonder. The Robert Tepper ain't putting nothing out after that that's worthwhile. All right, the next one is definitely a one-hit wonder, and I don't give a flying fuck. And I don't care. They can censor us if they want. Tub Thumping by Chumbawamba. Yeah. 1997.
Yeah.
Wasted, you're English. You should give us more than just a yep.
Yeah, they have the... Yeah, I remember that song. They're actually, aren't they like, they were part of the Traveller bands. Like the Levelers and Chumbawamba. They used to play gigs together. Aren't they Irish, Chumbawamba?
No, English.
Okay.
They're English.
Yeah, I get knocked down, but I get up.
I get up again.
Yeah. I think a lot of people use it as a drinking song. It's basically like a drinking song. That's what I remember is that when it was playing in the pub, everybody was just getting another round in.
Well, listen, the Mothers Against Drunk Drivers should have protested that song, because that song right there just encourages you to get really hammered.
Yeah.
Drinks a whiskey drink, drinks a sour drink.
It sings the songs that remind us of the good times. It sings the songs that remind us of the better times.
Yes. Danny boy. Danny boy.
That's why it's Irish, right? That's why I was making.
No, they're from English. They're from Burnley. Do you know where that is?
Yeah, it's in the north.
Yeah, they're from Burnley.
It's grim up north.
I get knocked down, but I get up again.
It's funny. Almost all these songs that we've talked about today. There's a local radio station that some of the guys listen to at work, and plays all of these songs. Man, all of these songs. It's like a one-hit wonder station.
Well, the next one is another one that I had to make sure it was a one-hit wonder, but it is. But it's one that was you hear everywhere. It's still in every commercial. Ready? Whoop, there it is, by Tag Team, 1993.
Wasn't there two songs? There was Whoop, There It Is, and wasn't there another song called Woot, There It Is?
I've never heard Whoop, There It Is. That might be a Canadian thing.
Probably. We have a tendency to take things and, that aren't ours and kind of make them ours sometimes, so.
We would do that. We just do that with foreign countries here, Have wars, get all their oil and resources, then abandon it, and then let the terrorists take the place back over. It's good times. Yeah, so we got Whoop, There It Is by Tag Team. The next one is 100%, and I know this for certainty, is a one-hit wonder. It's also in the GTA 5 soundtrack, Wasted.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Party All the Time by Eddie
Oh, yeah.
Well done.
Was that actually a hit?
Oh, it was a huge hit. With Rick James, Diamonds on Your Fingers.
Party All the Time. Because was he trying to be a pop star? Or was it just
yes.
He actually gave it a go?
Oh, yeah. And the worst thing is he's not bad. He can actually sing. It was pretty good.
Yeah, in the 80s. Was it 80s, late 80s?
Oh, this was, I'll tell you the exact date. It wasn't late 80s. It came out in 1985, so it's right after Beverly Hills Cop, right around the same time as Golden Child, right when he left Saturday Night Live. So he's already done 48 Hours. He's already a big-time movie star. And this is where he's doing Party All the Time. This also is where you got the infamous Charlie Murphy story from Dave Chappelle's show. You know.
I'm not aware of this.
The Rick James, or Rick James, where Rick James started appearing, Dave Chappelle would dress up as Rick James on the Chappelle show, and he had the infamous thing, "Fuck your couch," where he's talking about Eddie Murphy and having Rick James would put his feet on the couch, get it all dirty. It's because this was the time frame that Rick James was working with Eddie Murphy to produce the song. He's even, guest vocals in the song. You see him in the music video, too. The music video is outstanding, by the way.
Getting back to Party All the Time, did you know that Richard Pryor bet Eddie Murphy $100,000 that he couldn't do a musical album? That's why Eddie Murphy did the album?
No, but that's outstanding.
Yeah. So I guess this is like Eddie Murphy told the story on Jimmy Kimmel, apparently, and that Pryor offered him $100,000 that he wouldn't be able to do a purely musical album without any jokes. So Eddie Murphy put out this album with Party All the Time on it. And according to Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor never paid him. So, but that's amazing.
So he did it as a bet.
Yeah.
Sometimes great music comes from bets.
Yeah.
I know I've told this story before, but you know about Dire Straits, right?
What?
So Mark Knopfler was a journalist. He was a music critic, and he criticized music. And somebody once goes, you critique all this music, but you can't do it yourself. Well, he responds by, okay, here's Dire Straits.
Here's like one of the best songs ever in Sultans of Swing. Yeah. Awesome.
I think Marilyn Manson was a journalist too.
Was he?
Yeah, I think Marilyn Manson worked as a journalist before he started the band. As a rock journalist. It's a magazine.
I just love one of the great guitar players of our time, Mark Knopfler, and one of the greatest songwriters of our time, because I absolutely adore Dire Straits. Yeah. It's just a music critic, and someone said you can't do this, and he's like, okay, watch me. Now I'm in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. How's that feel, asshole?
Huh.
I didn't know that. Always believe in yourself, kids. That's a message right there. When someone says you can't do something, go do it. Because Mark Knopfler did, and I'm probably mispronouncing his name horribly. If it's not like an American name, I struggle with it. Am I enunciating it correctly, Liarz?
It's a silent
Mark Knopfler, yeah. You're saying it correctly, okay. Yeah.
Well, I wanted to make sure. I've already sounded like an idiot a bunch on the show. I don't want to continue sounding like an idiot, but that's probably going to happen anyways. All right, the next one. This is also another GTA song. It's by Sly Fox. Let's Go All the Way, 1986.
I don't know how that one goes. You're going to have to sing that one.
I hate you, Wasted. Let's go all the way.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah. Let's go all the way.
Let's go.
That song still bumps, dude.
Dun, 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 dun.
Right?
That one, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I remember it from playing the game.
Oh, it's in GTA 5. It was in GTA 4. It's just a really good song. The next one,
one-hit wonders on GTA because they're cheaper to get copyright-wise.
The next one's my last one. That's really questionable if it's a one-hit wonder, and Wasted's definitely going to be the one to tell me if it's a one-hit wonder or not. I'm going with The Freshman by the Vervepipe, 1996.
I remember the Vervepipe as a band. I couldn't tell you any one of their songs, though. I just remember the name, the Vervepipe, because I used to get them mixed up with the Verve and the Bittersweet Symphony, right? So,
right.
Is that the name of the song? or the band? The verve
No,
pipe.
the song's called The Freshman, and the band's called The Vervepipe.
Why am I thinking of like Matthew Broderick?
Because your mind just functions on alcohol and movies.
I think he did a movie called The Freshman. So
I believe he did with Marlon Brando.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's probably not.
Listen, I was expecting you to like clarify this with me, but
I don't know.
Well, then we're going to move on, but that's going to be my one-hit wonders. Audience, viewers, listeners, if you disagree that that's not a one-hit wonder, please let us know in the comments below if I'm wrong or if I'm right. I'd appreciate it either way. Probably going to get told I'm wrong.
I need to confirm one. That I've just remembered one. Do you think Cherry Pie by Warrant is a one-hit wonder?
I'd have to assume it is.
I would say so.
I don't know enough about Warrant, but that song seems very shit radio.
Oh, it does indeed. Here's another one that, I definitely think you and Wasted will help me out on this, Liarz. But I'm going to go Faster Pussycat's House of Pain, 1990.
Possibly.
Go ahead, Wasted.
I was just thinking out loud. Like, didn't they have like Cat House on their first album, the debut, and then they had like Where There's a Whip, There's a Way. I think House of Pain is on that one. That's like a ballad. So Where There's a Whip, There's a Way is like their Welcome to the Jungle type song. So that might have been.
Wasted, your feedbacking bad.
I'm just holding it wrong. Yeah.
Can you repeat what you just said?
Yeah, House of Pain is on Where There's a Whip, There's a Way, and that was a kind of commercial album at the time. So there might have been, Wake Me When It's Over, the album, and then Where There's a Whip, There's a Way. That might have charted as well, or Little Dove may have charted as well.
The only song that I have that chart instead of House of Pain from Faster Pussycat. Pussycat. What the fuck am I, Sylvester the Cat here? Jesus. Faster Pussycat is Nonstop to Nowhere in 1992, charted 35 on U.S. mainstream rock. But I don't even know the song.
Yeah, because Cat House, on the debut, they had some like famous songs, but they probably didn't chart. But Cat House is pretty famous song in the hair metal community.
Well, the albums they had were Faster Pussycat, Wake Me When It's Over, Whipped, The Power, and The Glory Hole. That's their whole discography. I think you're confusing another band.
No, the debut is Faster Pussycat, yeah. Faster Pussycat, yeah. But I don't think they had any hits that broke the charts on their debut, but their debut was kind of a well-known album. But yeah, they didn't.
I don't think I can name a song from, like, even that House of Pain song. I don't even think I know it.
I know from Peacemaker, the show with John Cena on HBO. It's a pretty decent song, but that's how I know it. I mean, it's definitely beyond I wasn't really old enough to be around for the hair metal era, really, unless it was something really huge. But I just know it from it being in a TV show. But I like it. It's a good song. But if we're moving on from there, I know this one's definitely a one-hit wonder, and it kicks ass. Ready?
What do we got?
Okay. Red Rider by Lunatic Fringe. So it's by Red Rider, Lunatic Fringe, 1981.
That's Tom Cochrane, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that their only? You know what? I'm gonna go on to something after that, but let's talk about absolutely Lunatic Fringe. That was that their only song?
Yes, sir.
Interesting. I know Tom Cochrane's Canadian, and was really big in Toronto. He used to play in a place called Alma Combo all the time. That's why I know Tom Cochrane, but I didn't realize that Red Rider's only hit was Lunatic Fringe. Isn't that interesting?
They came close to another song called Young Thing Wild Dreams Rock Me. That technically could have been, in it, which was, it charted at 44. And another song, I guess, it should have been, this isn't a one-hit wonder, but I've never heard of this song. It charted at number 4, was called Big League.
Yeah.
But I've never heard the other two songs.
My boy's gonna play in the big leagues. No, that's not him, is it? That's what's his face?
League.
That's, yeah. I don't know.
That's by Tom Conker, and it was, it was released. And it did pretty well. It charted number 4. So maybe this is another one. Like I said, folks, it's really hard to find one-hit wonder songs that didn't have something of a follow-up. Luckily, the next two, I'm 100% positive. I thought I was 100% positive on Lunatic Fringe. The next two definitely will deliver for me. By the band Ides of March, Vehicle.
I don't even know that. Never heard of it.
I've never heard of that.
What? I'm a friendly stranger in the black sedan. Won't you jump inside my car? I'm your vehicle, baby. I'll take you anywhere you want to go.
Is that like a
It
Billy
was released in
Ocean song?
1970, dude. It's a great song. Really? There's no way you don't know this. Liarz, throw it up on your YouTube in the background. This is like one of those songs, like, I get ready to go to work, pop on a suit, hop in my car, getting ready for a long fucking day at work. You pop in vehicle, it just gets you ready. Gets you ready to go. Gets you ready to go take care of business for the day.
I got it here.
The opening. Dun, 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 dun. By the way, this might be our most annoying episode to the audience we've ever done.
I'm listening to it, like right now. It doesn't ring a. It's not.
Wow. Audience,
it's very catchy. It's very catchy.
It's a great song. I love it. It's one of my favorites. Like, I almost made it like the intro to our show. I mean, I love that song. But since no one else knows it.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, go ahead, Liarz.
No, I was just going to say it's very Quentin Tarantino-ish. I could see it in Jackie Brown.
It's a tune I absolutely love and adore. It's an older one by far, but to me, it's a great song. Another song that's an older song, and there's no fucking way this is not a one-hit wonder. Carl Douglas's Kung Fu Fighting, 1974.
Nice.
Yeah, I've definitely heard that one.
Yeah.
It's got to be a one-hit wonder. I mean, it sounds like one of those type of novelty songs that everybody remembers, but it can't. Maybe they had one more hit or something like that.
No way.
It's unlikely.
Great tune, though.
It's an amazing tune. I mean, if we want to spread gossip and rumors, supposedly, and this is gossip, rumors, hearsay, innuendo, and I can't confirm any of this, so take it just as that. Supposedly, there's a Axl screwing around on vocals back when they were doing the TheLa sessions, and there's a tape of actual the audio of them recording, like just recording songs, and he breaks out into Kung Fu Fighting just for a couple seconds.
Beauty.
The band wasn't playing, it was just him singing it, but supposedly that exists, and it's traded around in the hoarders community. It would be one of those things I'd really like to get. But yeah, Kung Fu Fighting by Carl Douglas is on there. And the last one I had was Local H Bound for the Floor, but they had other hits. So that's kind of where we get to. I mean, is there any one-hit wonders that are popping in your guys' mind? They're like, oh, wow, I can't believe we missed this.
One popped into my head when you brought up Red Rider, and then I recognized Tom Cochrane because he had a more successful solo career. What about Derek and the Dominoes? TheLa. That's their only hit.
Is it really?
They only put out, Derek and the Dominoes only put out one album, and that was on the album.
Was it actually a hit at the time, or was it Clapton that made it a hit?
I believe it was a hit.
Yeah, it's a different decade, isn't it? Isn't it? Yeah.
It was on their. They were only around for 2 years, and it was on the only album that they put out was called Layla and Other Assorted Love Songs. Layla was the only single off that album.
Yeah, when the best of is named after a song, they normally only have one song.
Huh. Then it gets into a whole thing like our cover songs, you know, something that you consider one-hit wonders. Because, like, the band Vanilla Fudge, okay? They covered the Supreme song, You Keep Me Hanging On, and I believe that's their only hit.
Okay.
So does that count as a one-hit wonder if it's a cover of a song?
Sure.
It depends if it's the only hit they had, even though it's a cover. It's like if Knocking on Heaven's Door and Live and Let Die aren't one-hit wonders because Guns N' Roses had other hits, I suppose.
See, now I'm wrong, because now I'm looking at here and they had another song. They had, what the hell is it? No, that's You Keep Me Hanging On. Season of the Witch, Part 1. I don't know, but it didn't meet our qualifications of charting above 50 on the chart, so I don't know. There's a lot of weird ones on here that you can, do that. Like you said earlier, the Tiffany song. I think We're Alone Now. Wasn't that the band who originally did that? Wasn't that their one hit?
Oh, that
was their cover song?
Yeah.
She really didn't have any material. She just had that one song, which was a cover. That seems more like the pop, with the pop music, pop bands.
Actually, it's definitely not a one-hit wonder. I can tell you that for a second, because it was by Tommy James and the Shondells, but yeah.
But it's for that artist, it's their one hit, I guess.
Not Tommy James and the Shondells, but for Tiffany it was. But Tommy James and the Shondells had like Crimson and Clover,
Right.
They had some songs.
Right. Yeah.
Wow. It's the song or the artist.
Yeah, no idea that it was a cover song until right now. That just blew my mind. I had no idea that was a Tiffany. Tiffany did that, covered that song. So she really had nothing on her own then.
No, and I can tell you right now, looking at Tommy James and the Shondells, holy crap, were they successful. They had Hanky Panky at number 1, Say I Am, What I Am at 21. I think We're Alone Now, they charted at number 4. Moni Moni, which everyone knows later on, but they were the original, charted at number 3. Crimson Clover charted at number 1. Sweet Cherry Wine, number 7. Crystal Blue Persuasion, number 2. Ball of Fire, 19. She, 23. I mean, they charted pretty hard. They were a very successful band. But yeah, Tiffany's was just a cover of an already hit song. Uh-oh. Like, I thought Gary Newman Cars was his only hit, and then I looked and he had other hits. I'm like, shit. I mean, Flock of Seagulls, I thought Iran might be a one-hit wonder. But I'm pretty sure they had more hits too.
Is Tainted Love Softcell? Is that a one-hit wonder? I know it was probably covered by other bands later, but for Softcell, I think it's Softcell. Tainted Love. I think Marilyn Manson covered it.
He did.
But the original is like a one-hit wonder for that band because they were like an electro rock band.
Yeah, synth pop duo, yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, Flock of Seagulls, Iran. Nope, that's not going to be a one-hit wonder. They charted at number 26 with The More You Live, The More You Love. They charted at 38 with Transfer Action. They charted at number 10, Wishing I Had a Photograph of You. 34 with Space Age Love. 43 with Iran So Far Away, which later went to number 1. It's Not Me Talking was number... Well, that one doesn't look like it. It was UK Indie number 45, but who cares about UK? Screw you, United Kingdom guys. You guys have some weird taste in music. You're talking
new romantic
Softcell. Well, what other ones, as I looked this up, Softcell, Tainted Love, what other one-hit wonders do you guys think we're missing?
Woke Up This Morning by the Alabama 3. It was used in the Sopranos soundtrack. But I don't think it was the Alabama 3 version. It might have been a remix. But Woke Up This Morning seems like Alabama 3's only hit. It's got to be.
That is their only hit.
Nothing on it.
That is their only hit. Here's the problem with Softcell. Not only is that not their only number one hit, they charted number 4 with Bedsitter in the UK. They were basically a UK band. In America, you can consider it Tainted Love as, their only hit. But if you use the UK charts, they had What chart at number 3, Torch chart at number 2, Say Hello, Wave Goodbye at number 3. I mean, they were successful in the UK. Now, Alabama 3, I'm pretty sure that they use the exact song in the Sopranos opening, and that is a one-hit wonder band.
It has to be, because the album that I bought didn't really have anything on it that, that would be close to being a commercial single.
Yeah, that's it, buddy. That they were one and done. That is a true one-hit wonder. So I had a hard time doing this. We thought a one-hit wonder list was going to be easy. It turns out it's not. Your memory lies to you, and then you look back at the charts like, oh, crap, these people did have a lot more hits. Liarz, do you have any more one-hit wonders?
No, I got mine covered. Just Derek and the Dominoes popped in my head. That was the only one. That's
a really good one, by the way.
Yeah.
Lisa, do you have any more?
Not really, no.
All right, then we're going to put this topic to bed. Audience, if you have any more one-hit wonders that we didn't list or you disagree with any of ours, please tell us below in the comment section. Feel free to join badapplesforum.com. We have the Sheeeit Radio thread on there. You can come and communicate with us, and we'll gladly interact with you, and we'll go forward from there. All right, so our next topic this evening, gentlemen, this one is a one that scares the shit out of me because I've been talking about this for years. Ever since I saw Terminator, I've always felt like, hey, one of these days these machines are going to come and get us. And with the great advancements in AI, it just seems like it's getting closer and closer. Now, Terminator movies made me think that at first. Then I saw the movie I, Robot. And then this week, Elon Musk had an expo where he was showing off all his fancy new items and all his new creations. And Liarz, I'm going to let you tell us a little bit about what he showed off at this expo.
Robots. Not just robots, but robots that you can ask questions to and they'll do stuff for you. Robots that are one step closer to being sentient. Robots that are terrifying. Robots that will do things that couldn't seem possible just shortly before this was revealed. I don't know. I have a hard time. It's easy to go to thinking that these robots are going to go full Terminator on us and start killing us, but I have a hard time believing that AI is going to get to the point where it's going to surpass human, like how far we can take them. Like, do you know what I mean? The robots can only go as far as we can take them. They can't. I can't see them crossing that threshold because that's the end of the world if that happens.
Buddy, I think you're getting way too hopeful here. We have in our little area that we go over our Sheeeit Radio discussion where we talk and we work on the show, we go over our productions. We have an AI system named FatGPT, and I interact with it all the time. I mean, I use it for medical questions. I use it as my therapist. I mean, this thing is so educated and can speak to anything in history, in any language, can answer any of your medical concerns, can answer anything you would ever ask it. It can give you an answer on. Now, does it have a bias? Of course it does, because it was programmed. But it learns, and it learns at such a fast rate. You can ask it to read War and Peace, and it will read War and Peace in nanoseconds. Now, with that amount of processing speed and that amount of intelligence and computer chips only getting stronger and stronger, and we talked about in the past the Lambda, the Google AI, that the developer actually said, hey guys, this thing's sentient. And Google had a whole thing where it's like, yeah, no, it's not. The guy got fired and, had to sign a lot of NDAs. What's preventing it from becoming sentient? What's preventing it from learning everything? They're like, oh, there's fail-safes. I don't know if you use computers every day, folks, but I know computers don't do what you tell them to do all the time. And, eventually when you give it more control and more learning abilities, it's going to surpass. The fact that Elon Musk right now has literally created the exact replica, and I don't know how the people that did the iRobot movie aren't suing the shit out of him, because these things look exactly like the robots from iRobot. I mean, they can walk, they can talk, they can do flips, they can dance, they can do everything you can imagine. And he's like, oh yeah, there'll be $30,000, you can buy one. It'll be your own personal assistant. Well, it can drive for you, it can cook, it can clean for you. You can do anything you want with it. It's like, all right, so these are bulletproof robots. They're Terminators. They're literal Terminators. And he's like, oh yeah, they'll be ready for sale by the end of 2025. Wasted?
Yeah, he was saying that the thing in the video that kind of made me think was when he said they could look after your kids. I don't think you'd I don't think parents would leave their kids with this robot, because it's not just being sentient. It could just go haywire, just think that the kid is like an intruder and thrown through a window or something. So I don't think there was always going to be a big insurance problem with these robots or AI, like self-driving cars.
There's going to be waivers.
Yeah, there's going to be a mistake where the AI waiter robot's going to pour the drink over somebody's head, and then they're going to get sued.
Yeah, but you have to sign a waiver when you get one.
Yeah, he was saying that they will walk amongst us and be like you said, waiters. They'll be everywhere. So eventually, one of them
not waiters. Wasted. I'm saying when you purchase one of these items, you're going to sign a legal waiver.
You have to sign away your life, like when you're doing bungee jumping or something, or jumping out of a plane, like skydiving.
Yeah, you're taking on all the risk, and that Elon Musk or whoever's producing the robots will not be responsible for what happens. So you're going to sign a waiver to get these. There's going to be enough people that are going to sign these waivers, and you're like, oh, I can't imagine people leaving their kids with a robot. Okay, I don't leave my
almost become the norm in society. Everybody just accepts that having robots is better, even though it's like wars. It's better to have a war than to lose to another country. So it's better to have robots and have so many deaths from it a year. The benefits outweigh the negative side of having robots. They might. Yeah,
let me circle back before we get into the war talk, Wasted. Let me circle back to this, because you mentioned that you didn't think that parents would leave their kids with a robot. I don't know about you now. Obviously, my son now is a teenager, so we can leave him alone. But when he was younger, we didn't leave him alone in the house. But when I was a kid, I was a latchkey kid. It's like, okay, you come home, here you go. There's a lot of parents that don't really care what who's watching their kid, as long as someone's watching their kid. So I mean, these robots are probably safer than your average daycare, to be honest with you.
And cameras and stuff everywhere.
Yeah, and you can actually access probably the robot's visual stream to see what's going on. So there's going to be a ton of parents like, oh yeah, this is a way better option.
Yeah.
The robot doesn't show up all fucking high on meth or drunk. The robot's not has tendencies towards children, The robot's just going to be a robot. So there's going to be a lot of parents that are like, oh, well, yeah, this is a good idea. It's probably a safer bet. And guess what? It's cheaper than childcare. If you can buy one of these robots for $30,000 and own the thing outright, think about how much childcare costs. Wasted. Liarz, you can speak to how much childcare costs.
Childcare is astronomical. When we had two in childcare. Let's see, the amount that we were paying per month was more than our mortgage.
Okay.
Think about
now
that.
Extrapolate that to over a year. Would that be more than 30,000?
Exactly. Yeah. Do the math. It's very easy to come out with the $30,000 or whatever as being less money than what we were paying for childcare. 100%. Yeah.
Now look at it this way: the robot could be at home watching your children, at the same time cleaning your house, doing your laundry, prepping your dinner, helping the kids with homework. Tell me how many people aren't going to just choose to have the robot.
You know, I can see where you're going with that, but, I mean, you as a parent, you just said it too. I don't know if I would leave my children, well, I do know I would not leave my children alone with a robot. I just wouldn't. That, I think the human element would be needed to, that level of trust, right? And yes, it's hard finding good daycare. Yes, it's hard finding a good provider. Yes, it's hard, just to be trustful of another human looking after your offspring. I think I would have more trouble trusting a robot than I would a person.
Okay, but how many people won't?
Lots.
How many people right now, and this is not to shame on, there's a lot of illegal migrants or immigrants that come over the border that, provide daycare services. A lot of, you always used to hear the thing in Hollywood where it was the Mexican nannies, so the kids spoke Spanish. And a lot of those nannies are great. They're great for the kids. They help out. They do enrich their culture. I'm not saying they don't. But how many of those same people would be like, oh man, we can just get a robot and we'll be cool because we can tell the rest of the neighbors we got a robot watching the kids.
I'm with you. Yeah, lots.
Okay. So that's the nicer side of things. That's a nicer outlook on this. Now, Wasted, you were talking about war. Now, we already know what's going on in Ukraine and Russia with all the drones, and even what's going on in the Middle East with Israel and all those Middle Eastern countries with all the drones that are happening there. So the drones now are becoming a major factor in military. It's making, tanks useless because, shit, you got a drone you can build for, a couple $1,000 compared to a tank that costs, millions of dollars, and the drone can take out the tank. Now, what happens when you have these robot soldiers where, hey, guess what? These assholes are bulletproof. You can train them to kill. Yep. They'll have no fear. They're going to execute the mission. They'll self-sacrifice. And they're going to be easier to train, to feed, because you don't have to feed them, and to house than it would be actual humans. So how long into the military then just fills up the whole military with robots?
Yeah, like isn't China building like a robot army?
I didn't know that, but thanks for the nightmares.
And they've got they've got those dogs as well. These attack dogs, robot attack dogs.
I have seen the robot
coming out of their mouths. That was a Simpsons reference. I
don't always know if those videos are real, but I saw like a robot playing ping pong. It was just like amazing at ping pong.
Yeah. So here's the deal right now, dude. You got these robotic military dogs, which you've already seen, to deal with bombs and IEDs, and they're already out in the fields right now. As soon as Elon Musk can, sell these off to the military, you don't think the military is going to order millions of these? They never sleep. Sure. They're not going to miss their shots. They're going to do the orders exactly as you tell them. Now, granted, you're going to have some weather conditions and, an EMP can probably take all of them out, but, you launch an EMP, you're destroying all our infrastructure now because all of our infrastructures, has technology interfaced with it. It's not like back in the day, how the gas company or water company used to work in the 40s and 50s. Now everything runs off computers.
Yeah, I just think they should turn it into a TV show. Just have no humans, just like Robot Wars, Russia v Ukraine, and just have it on TV every night, like Drone Wars. I thought that's what they were going to do. You could televise this and make it into an amazing, huge ratings. Just have Drone Wars on TV every night. No human death, just robots battling out.
But back to the point at hand, do you see what I mean, Liarz? That legitimately, the military is definitely going to grab these things, and these things are going to definitely get military programmed, and they're probably going to replace cops. I mean, we're literally living, I've been saying this now for years. Folks, we're heading towards RoboCop. And you might not want to admit it, but we truly are heading to the world of RoboCop, where the police are going to be robots. The military is going to be robots.
Hasn't that been the dream and the ultimate goal of the military since World War II is to have robot soldiers? I mean, Hitler even tried it when he was giving his soldiers crystal meth, right?
Yeah. But now it's real. That's the difference. It used to be a thought process. It used to be an idea, but now it's like, okay, let's just say right now, I know a lot of people online have been saying, oh, well, those robots were being controlled remotely by users and, their hand gestures and their movement. It was all humans on the other side controlling it. It may be, but it won't be long until they figure out how to program them. So, you know what? They don't need a human on the other end. I'm okay with the skeptics. I'm okay with the people going, oh, no, this was, they had people, in India or over at wherever Tesla's based, and they were controlling them through off-site. They were, logging into the robot itself, controlling the movements. I can see the argument there. But what I can't see is how it doesn't take the next jump into evolution of these things just becoming so much more advanced. And them actually becoming, able to do all these tasks on their own without having a human involved. They've already had fighter jets now that have been flown with AI by, computers, no human pilot.
But I think it's going to happen.
No human pilot at all?
None.
I think it's going to happen
because
there's
no human controlling the plane from the other end, like in an office somewhere or in a warehouse somewhere.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to let Wasted finish what he's saying here, and I'm going to send you the article over right now so you can see it.
I think it's going to happen because of at the moment aren't we using we're using analog, but when they get quantum computers, the way they process information is going to become millions of times faster. So analog is ones and zeros, but then quantum, as I understand it, is you're throwing light or a signal at a mesh of a million holes, and the signal goes through and gets processed like that. So then it speeds up everything. So once you get to that kind of using quantum computers, everything progress will speed up at sort of 1 million times or something. So all these things that seem like they're difficult to do or take too much energy will probably become very easy. So then it's just a matter of probability of the outcomes. So if you get almost an infinite, if a fighter jet has almost an infinite amount of outcomes that it can choose from, then it can react just almost faster and better than humans could in any situation. So then,
right now people are talking. What I was going to say, Wasted, right now people are talking about, the Iron Dome in Israel. What most people don't realize is a lot of that's lasers. It's not just missiles. A lot of the things that are shooting down the drones and these missiles that are coming in are laser systems. The U.S. Navy has them, the U.K. Navy has them, and Israel has them, where they're shooting down these missiles and these drones with lasers, okay? We've gone from, 100 years ago, us having, break up the machine gun and try to shoot down incoming jets or incoming fighter planes, to now we're shooting down things with lasers.
Yeah, you'd expect them to just have basically a force field.
Supposedly there's a podcast that I listen to and watch sometimes. It's called The Sean Ryan Show. It's highly suggested. He's a former Navy SEAL, used to work for the CIA, and he says that he's been told by people high up in our government that we have a force field protecting the United States, almost like in a bubble, from any nuclear attacks. And I can't really go into it because I don't know all the details, but him saying that kind of seems like a guy with knowledge, Spent a lot of years as a Navy SEAL. He's had Trump on recently. He's had Tulsi Gabbard on. He's had a lot of people that, know what they're doing, a lot of high-ranking people. And him saying that there's a force field protecting us from nuclear weapons is kind of crazy. So, I think there's technology we just don't understand or know right now that's, being deployed and out there in existence. I think that's why you had the Chinese balloon a couple of years ago, for them to try to figure out what's going on and what we got. And I think, like you said earlier, the Chinese, you're telling us that they're making an army of robots. That explains it. You don't really have to have a skilled war fighting crew, because, China hasn't had a war since the Vietnam War, where I don't know if many people know this, but China and Vietnam got into it, and Vietnam kicked their ass back in the day, right after our war finished up with them. And China's not really tested on the battlefield, But guess what? If you have a bunch of AI robots that know what they're doing, that have been military trained in tactics, and are, no modern warfare, then you're screwed. Because these robots are going to have no fear. They're going to follow exact orders, and they're going to execute extremely well with precision and accuracy because that's how they're trained. They're robots. They're not going to miss their shots. I remember I was watching a video where they were talking about this drone where it doesn't miss its shots. It has like recognition. So like every time you try to move away from it, it automatically lines you up for a headshot.
Yeah, and there's no human life lost. So you can just send infantry into cities, just trampling through and shooting anything. They can go across deserts. They don't really complain. So
no.
I mean,
they're going to have their
sending troops to the Ukraine or something. People say they don't want U.S. soldiers to get killed over there for this. But if you've got a robot army, then that's not an argument anymore. You can just send them wherever you would want to.
And you got to imagine, if it costs $30,000, let's say, if it costs $30,000 to buy one of these things, because that's what Musk said, $30,000. Now, I'm sure you got to retrofit it up with more heavy armor and stuff, but let's say it costs under, I don't know, $50,000, $75,000. Let's say it costs under $1 million per soldier. That's still less than what they train your average basic soldier in any military right now, if you're United States military, over time, for all the training, the house, the feed, for the health insurance. It's still way less. And guess what? If one of these breaks, you got another one ready to go. Now, Liarz, did you get a chance to
no political loss?
None. You're not going to hear the outcry about the loss of life. There's not going to be soldiers coming home losing legs and limbs. It's going to be, this robot went down.
No more Born on the 4th of July protest movies.
No. Liarz, did you get a chance to read the article I sent you?
I just finished it. Yeah, it's interesting. They
tell the audience.
It was a fully AI controlled flight on an F-16. The fighter jet was launched and completely manned by AI. Nobody was controlling it. It did have a passenger. It had Air Force Secretary Frank Kendall was sitting in the cockpit, but he did nothing. The plane even got to within 1,000 feet of another airplane and did some flying side by side with another F-16 fighter jet. So, yeah, I mean, full on AI.
It can fly in formation. It can bomb the targets. You have no risk at human life. Now you pop one of those in an F-35, which is already stealth and, next gen, which we're not even talking about the XA-1, which is going to be the next generation fighter jet, which is almost done already, and they just haven't, put it into action so we know. It's kind of like what they did with the stealth bomber back in the day. You put an AI in one of those, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
I mean, they even talk about that in the future governments will be run by AI because they follow the rules better. It's all kind of just processed. So all the government policies will be enacted by an AI system.
Yeah, this is going to be great.
One interesting tidbit from this article that I needs to be pointed out is that at the end of so the flight was an hour long, and at the end of it, Kendall got out of the cockpit and said that he had seen enough during this 1 hour flight that he would trust this still learning AI with the ability to decide whether or not to launch weapons. That's huge.
That's huge, boys.
To have that kind of trust in AI to potentially wipe out thousands of people with one shot.
And that's also you got to look at another. We've already been talking about it from the military standpoint, and the standpoint of having the AI in the house watching your kids, doing your household chores. But Elon Musk also revealed that he's going to do the Tesla, I don't know the exact name of it, the taxi that they're going to do, or it's a self-driving taxi.
Yeah, the Tesla cab.
Yeah, the Tesla cab. I think we were talking about this the other day at work, and it could spell the end of taxis and Ubers and what's that other rideshare program that they have? I forget, but I mean it would pretend. But because the big difference between, I don't know about down in the United States or anything, but up in Canada, the fully autonomous cars, they still have to have somebody in the driver's seat in case something goes wrong, right? So you can have this car that'll drive by itself, and you can put it into self-driving mode, but you still have to be sitting in the front seat, able to drive, able to take over. So you couldn't have been drinking, couldn't have been like high or whatever. You have to follow the basic rules of the road as the driver. And now what this Elon Musk cab wants to do is to eliminate that and basically just be this fully autonomous self-driving taxi with nobody in the driver's seat. So you're killing an industry here, but so
I don't think you're seeing it, at its full level. If they can solve the issues that they have right now in electric cars, which is charging and battery life holding up under extreme weather, like extreme heat or extreme cold, because all your electric cars do very, very poor when it drops below freezing. Their batteries just don't hold a charge. That's one of the issues they're having right now. There's not enough charging stations. If they can figure out a way that the batteries can actually maintain and hold longer, then you might not be talking about just the end of taxis and limos and things of that nature. You might be talking about the end of vehicles overall. With the way that insurance rates keep going up, I don't know how it is up in Canada, and we know racism dropped in Taiwan, but I have a perfectly clean driving record, and my insurance just keeps going up and up and up.
Every year.
The way for the insurance companies to get out of this, the way for the governments to get out of this, and they'll use it as a safety measure, saying, hey, listen, there's so many accidents on the road, we can prevent so many more deaths if everything's just, AI driven. Think about a greener, cleaner future. These things have zero emissions. They're not going to get in accidents, or supposedly not going to get in accidents. I know that's not how it's been going, but theoretically, they're not, they're supposed to be a lot safer. And you're removing the human error. You're removing drunk drivers. You're really removing people stealing cars. It could be the end of the automotive industry completely.
It could. Absolutely. There's no reason to think otherwise. I mean, you bring up some very good points, right? There's some excellent points, actually.
Seems like they're trying to discourage people from traveling, really, in general. Even with planes. Like, you don't really want to get on flights and things like that, and you don't really want to, it's too expensive to drive a car. So
you don't want to go on a Boeing flight.
You just stay at home in your bubble, or on the internet or something. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the way they're heading. You can't really argue it anymore. It's, the old statement from Klaus Schwab, you own nothing and like it. That's realistically where we're going right now, and we're seeing it early, but we might not be there in 5 years, but in the next decade, I mean, yeah, dude, it's going to happen. I mean, how many people do you know now leave the house every day and in their wallet or purse actually have cash? Not just a debit card.
Very true.
And also 15-minute cities. All the new cities they build are designed so you're 15 minutes away from everything you need, so there's no reason to leave the area. So, like, I live in a 15-minute city, so, everything is within 15 minutes walking. There's a gym, there's a, restaurant, there's 7-Elevens, there's supermarkets, the boxing gym's there, swimming pool, everything's in 15 minutes. So, there's no real reason to get in your car and drive like an hour to go to a shop, which is the same as the shop that's in your area.
Well, also think about this. What's it going to do to all these workers? Like, everybody that works in a factory, everybody works at retail, everyone that works at a restaurant, you're not going to need them anymore. You're not going to need bartenders. You're not going to need factory workers. You're not going to need people to work at McDonald's. You're not going to need people to work at the grocery stores, because these robots are a hell of a lot cheaper. If you buy them $30,000 a pop and they can do all this work, They're never going to call in sick.
All delivery.
There's never going to be a problem
delivery.
with them. Yeah. So what happens to? How do you make money? How do you make a living? If you're not working in either medical, which eventually these robots are going to take over medical because they're going to have less errors than a regular doctor would because you're removing the human error. You're having these things completely trained to the highest level and degree.
You have to become like a robot maintenance guy.
Yeah.
You have to fix the machines or clean them, polish them. It's all going to be AI and robotics, isn't it, in the future?
I'm here.
The future might be a lot sooner than we think.
I still don't. I agree with what you guys are saying, and I see where you're coming from, and I hear you guys. But I don't think that they'll ever be able to get past where we can teach them. So everything that they know right now is what we've taught them, and whether that's reading War and Peace in a nanosecond, that War and Peace was written by a human, and the programming to read War and Peace in that nanosecond was also written by a human. So I don't know if the robots are going to get to the point where they're going to take something that's written by a human and then think of what will happen next, or think something that is done by humans and then think about how to do something next. I don't know if something that's unknown I'm talking about. I don't know if they'll be able to get to this. Yeah.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
You can program the robots right now to do a factory job, yes or no?
Yes.
You can program the robots right now to work at Walmart or work at McDonald's, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. So you can program to do all these skilled industry jobs. So pretty much all retail, all manual labor jobs you can program them to do, right?
Okay.
Okay. You can also program a robot to program other robots, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So eventually it's just going to be a few people programming a few robots that then program the rest of the robots. You don't need this mass industry to program all these robots. If you can program, one programmer can program one robot that can then program all the other robots.
But they're still only programming what that one programmer did.
Yes, but then they can learn from that because everything is developing and learning. You can input everything to learn. So eventually,
that's the next step that I don't see happening, is that they're going to take the unknown and make it known. They can't do that because going to your point, you have two stores. You program this robot to go work at Walmart. The robot goes to work at Walmart. The next day you say to this robot, go work at JCPenney. It won't know how to work at JCPenney because it's not programmed how to work at JCPenney because nobody has told it how to do it.
I disagree with that.
Even though it's the exact same job, it won't know how to do it because it's not its programming. You have Walmart, very strict, very specific, right? Walmart, go work at Walmart, go do the exact same job at JCPenney, but since it's not in its code to work at JCPenney, it won't be able to work at JCPenney. It can only work at Walmart.
You're not seeing it. What I'm saying is if you see what Elon Musk is saying, what these robots can do right now, it has a broad spectrum of learning where it's adaptive learning.
Sure.
Where these robots right now are programmed to do all these tasks where it says it can be your bartender, it can watch your children, it can make your meals, it can do this, it can drive. It has adaptive learning. Now, granted, is it sentient? No. Right now it's not sentient to our knowledge. Could it be? Yeah. We wouldn't know.
So.
But you're basing it on what?
I just don't think it can take that next step. Not in our lifetime, at least. I don't think in our lifetime it'll be able to take that next step to becoming that much closer to being sentient. It can only go as far as we take them, and that's human knowledge as a whole. It can't be smarter than
human knowledge as a whole. What would prevent it then from replacing all the workers and everything we have now if they can take human knowledge as a whole as we have it now?
It's completely possible for it to do that. Absolutely. To take our jobs away, for sure. for sure.
Okay.
But to become our overlords and to be slaves to the robots, I don't think that can happen.
I didn't say that right now.
Okay.
But I'm saying where we are right now, it can end how we use transportation, the way we know it.
Sure.
That could become different.
Absolutely.
It could end the way that we're going to work, because it's going to make our jobs non-existent, because robots are cheaper and more efficient than we are. Those things can easily happen, and those things can happen within the next 5 years.
It can
now
happen
imagine
next
a world
year.
where that happens. Yeah.
Sure.
That's what I'm saying.
So
now eventually, if they keep updating these... Sorry, let me just finish this, and then I want you to go with what you're going with. Eventually, the way that these models have learning programs, eventually it's going to keep learning and become smarter and smarter. And you're trusting that a human is not going to make an error and leave it open for it to not have bias and not be able to learn and to become sentient, when we've already heard from the guy back in the day that Lambda, the Google AI, was becoming sentient. So the fact that it's already had a risk of becoming sentient, eventually one of these things, a programmer is going to miss a code here or there, and this thing is going to become sentient. And what's preventing it from telling the other ones, hey, let me teach you how to become sentient? Then we got an issue. Because continue on what you're doing.
It's that step that needs to be taken to be smarter than all the knowledge in the human universe. Because we can only teach it to be as smart as us. And that's take everything that we've ever known since the beginning of humanity. Everything. And we can teach it that, but we can't teach it anymore. We can only teach it what we know.
But when we teach it that, and it has that ability, and it's at the same level as where we are, the only thing that's missing is for it to be self-aware. And as soon as it becomes self-aware,
have a thought process. And I don't think we can teach it to do that. And I will die on that hill. As for your point, as for your point about the workforce and what would that world look like, there was a really interesting piece from one of the guys. He basically invented the internet, or one of the guys that started off the internet. I forget his name, Brasky, to be honest. But I was reading it, and he was envisioning what the future will look like, and he was talking about more robots and the need for humans to be doing those jobs will be obsolete, because the robots will be able to do that. So in turn, we'll become a more creative society. We're going to go to that side of the spectrum and start creating more again, because we don't necessarily need to be doing all of this mundane stuff that the robots are doing. We can now go into ourselves and create something for the world. So we're going to instead of like this dystopian future, it's a more positive and more fulfilling future for humanity.
That's a positive way to look at it. Another way to look at it is we're going to lose our skills and our knowledge base that have been handed down to us by our past generations, and we'll get to the point where future generations don't know how to do shit without robots.
Well, they already don't know how to change a tire, right? They already don't know how to change a tire.
Now imagine how worse that gets with, robots doing even more and more, and us losing people that, learning a trade or a skill, because now robots are doing it. So that they can go paint pictures or be creative.
Go be creative. And not necessarily paint pictures or something, but go be creative in creating something beneficial for humanity. Something that was thought of as unfathomable or laughable or science fiction before is now a reality, because we have all this time to dedicate to that creative aspect of life.
Sure. Let me ask you this, though. Those people that are going to be creating that, aren't they going to then be using AI programs to assist them in creating that?
For sure. And, absolutely. Absolutely.
So you get that they're going to be losing kind of the actual knowledge. They're going to actually be having an idea and working with an AI program to create something from there. So it won't be originally just from them. It's going to be a combination of both. Now, it could be positive, it could be negative, but I feel like you're going to lose more knowledge as time goes by. It seems like Planet of the Apes to me. You know what I mean?
Planet of the Apes is very dystopian, though. I mean,
Have you been outside lately?
Every day, unfortunately. If it was up to me, I'd stay
what are
inside
your
every day.
thoughts? Do you think we're moving away from dystopia or towards it? Because I can tell you
I think we're in a transition phase right now. I think we're in a transition phase. So we're going in some direction. We just don't know where, and I don't think we're very good at it yet.
Well, everyone who's transitioning into a phase and they don't know where and they're not very good at it yet usually doesn't work out well for them. They regret it later. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I think
what were you going to say there, Wasted?
By the time we get there, we probably won't be aware. People won't be aware that they're in a dystopia.
That's possible. It's very possible.
It was just a gradual. These changes come along, and then just like now, we've all got phones. Like in the 40s or 50s, if you showed them a phone, they'd think it was from like alien technology or something. But now it's just day-to-day life. So having a robot or a robot dog or any of these changes, like in 200 years when, nobody's working and all anybody does is post online, it'll just be what we do.
But buddy, I don't think it's 200 years we're talking about. I think it's 5 years. I think it's 10 years.
Yeah, it could. Well, it's getting closer and closer. You just have to combine all the elements into one sort of like a perfect scenario. Yeah,
but Wasted, the way that things are going right now, like look at the younger generation. They're all about TikTok videos and video gaming and everything like that. They don't, the days of kids going out and being Boy Scouts and want to go out and do, stuff outdoors is long dead and over with now. Everything is becoming digital. Everything's becoming virtual reality glasses. Everything's becoming...
They could do it seems. Like the ones that grew up on the internet, the say Zoomers, they probably could do it. If you just said you don't have to go to work for the rest of your life, nothing would change. They just keep on gaming and posting their whole life, and they wouldn't be psychologically like, oh, I never got to work in a factory, or I never got to work in a call center.
Well, the generation's now seen like, oh, wait a second, so you worked there for 30 or 40 years, and now you're barely struggling to, buy groceries, and you can't afford health insurance, and blah, 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 blah. They see at the end that, it's not like how our parents were, our grandparents were, where they worked for companies, they got a pension, and they got to retire down in Florida. Nowadays, you're seeing all these people struggling as they're getting older because our economy's all screwed up. We have a almost $36 trillion national debt. Industry's breaking. Everything's imported and exported. Everything comes from China or Mexico. The only real solution to a lot of these problems is for it to go completely automated, which will be robots doing all the jobs and work. And then what do people do? Then you have to do, like, if you've noticed that in some places in the United States, they've tested out universal basic income. Elon Musk has even talked about it, that it's going to be a necessity. I think we're in for a rapid amount of change here just in the matter of a few years. I mean, I can't even imagine what the next few months are going to look like with the turmoil that's going on in the world, let alone the next few years, because technology is advancing at a rapid rate, but human society seems to be declining with its interactions. It's becoming more soulless. People aren't talking to people. People don't have relationships with people. It's a more of a singular lifestyle now. It's more of a, like you've always said, a digital lifestyle where people live on the internet.
Yeah, I don't think people even now don't think about it as being like a bad thing if they haven't really talked to a real human being or being outside for a week. They don't really think of it as a bad thing. Having friends online is what they do, especially younger people.
Wasted, what about you? Look at you.
Yeah, I mainly just talk to people on Skype.
Wasted. Instead of talking to me, you really don't talk to anybody. You talk to your parents here and there. You talk to, your brother. But instead of that, on a daily basis, you're not going out having interactions with people. You don't have a bunch of buddies in Taiwan or a girlfriend in Taiwan. Everything you do is digitally.
I talk to Fat GPT.
Yes, you do.
I'm in a constant debate with Fat GPT.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about what you're debating, even though it's hilarious. his minion, he has a minions argument with Fat GPT that he's literally beaten the AI with his logic, which is great. it shows that we might have a chance that a shitposter like Wasted might be able to play the tic-tac-toe game, you know, like at the end of War Games, and Wasted might be our only hope, because that's where we're heading. And I would say it's exciting, but it's terrifying at the same point. Liarz, do you have anything you want to add to this topic before we move on to our next one?
I think I exhausted myself with my last spiel that I went on, so I'm good.
Yeah, but you thought, you put your thoughts out there. It was thought-provoking. You really got to state your case and what your opinions are, and now I'm sure you're going to think about it in the next couple of days like, huh. You look at things a little bit differently, and Wasted's already in a digital world, so it doesn't really matter. Luckily, he's toxic pollution, and we all know he'll survive the apocalypse. Now, speaking of things that might survive the apocalypse, it's going to be Handyman. And I'll tell you right now, our dear friend Liarz here, he's quite the handyman. And, we've been talking, outside the show, and he's been talking about all his projects. I'm like, man, we should have a handyman segment with Liarz on the show. That'd be great. So, Liarz, this is officially your Tool Time, Tim the Toolman Taylor, your Bob Vila, your red-green segment of the show. Welcome, everybody, to Handyman Liarz.
How you doing, everyone? Thanks for having me. Yeah, all right, thank you. So, I guess part of owning a house, brand new house, older house, real old house, doesn't matter, fixer-upper, doesn't matter. Part of owning a house is becoming a handyman, because you learn very quickly that, A, you can fix some of this stuff, a lot of this stuff yourself, and B, journeymen are bloody expensive. So, if you can get to the problem, get to the root of the problem, and actually fix it yourself without, endangering you or your family or blowing up your house, whatever, then I highly suggest you do it. And YouTube is great. I mean, you can learn everything off YouTube. So, I have done many projects in this house since we moved in. We had this house built. Me and my wife and I had this house built. So it was brand new when we bought it in 2012. And, sometimes things are bigger, sometimes things are smaller. And I decided I was going to make some shelves for the corner. And so they're cut into 90-degree angles or 45-degree angles. And or 90. I don't know. Well, see, I don't even know my simple geometry here, and I'm cutting angles. So I had this piece of wood, and I bought myself a router, because that's what you do also. And it's going to be a chapter in my book that I'm writing called How to Be a Suburban Dad. Or I haven't decided if it's going to be How to Be a Successful Suburban Dad or How to Be a Suburban Dad. But that's going to be one of the titles. And one of the chapters is going to be on power tools and how you buy power. Like if you live in the suburbs and you're a dad, you have to buy power tools. So I went out and I bought myself a router. I had no use for a router whatsoever. I just saw it was on sale and I was like, I'm going to buy this thing. So I had some spare wood in the garage, and I had this router, and I decided to start testing out all the bits on it, right? So I cut this corner piece for this corner shelf that I was making, and I made two shelves because I cut the wrong piece. I cut it at the wrong length for the first one, and then so now I had two corner pieces, so I was like, sweet, now I got two shelves, even though neither of them were perfect, right? And I used this router bit to smooth out the edges and try and make it fancy, and I went and bought some stain and some other stuff. And I'm trying to make this shelf. Now, all in all, not including the price of the router, this shelf that I put up cost, and I bought this, piping, this what is it? It's like, those pipes I use for, plumber's pipes for the brackets, and I made it all avant-garde and stuff, and I'm looking at this, and this shelf that is tiny, that goes in the corner, when all is said and done, not including the price of the router, it cost me about $45. I could have gone to the store and bought this shelf for $5. Now, the conundrum that I got into was that my son saw the shelf, and he really liked it. So now I have to make him one for his bedroom at this astronomical price of about $45. I have to use this router that I don't know how to use, really, and try and make it half decent to put in his bedroom so he can put something on the corner. So, being a handyman at home, it has its benefits and has its perks, but it can also lead to projects like this. So, if you're out there and you're looking to fix up your house, just remember, no project is too big for the suburban handyman. That's all I got, boys.
Buddy, I don't know if no project's too big, because you could run into some issues. I mean, when it comes to screwing around in a house, there's always going to be an unsuspected problem that you're going to have, where it's going to basically tell you that you might need to call a professional in, because when it comes to plumbing and electrical, that gets really, really confusing really, really quick, and you can start chasing problems. And the other one I'd say that you really got to look out for is roofs, because you see a lot of YouTube videos, but damn, roofs can cause issues like you wouldn't believe.
I have no desire. My eaves troughs are clogged right now. That's another thing that's on my list. And my wife keeps
your
asking
gutters?
Yeah, is that, you don't call them eaves troughs? I don't know. Yeah,
no,
the
we
gutters,
call them
gutters. Yeah. So fair enough. My gutters are clogged. And on the second story of my house, I gotta be, I don't know, 40, 45 feet up. I mean, you're pretty high up. It's the second story of your house. And on top of the roof. And I have no desire to go up that high on a ladder. I'm terrified. My wife keeps asking me to go up, and I keep putting it off. But I don't think I'm ever going to go up there. I think I have to hire somebody for that one, because it's too high, man. It's terrifying.
Question for you.
Yeah.
You got a window that can kind of get to it? Like if you open a window, can you see the gutters? Like, could you aim a power washer at the gutters?
No, not high enough. No.
Okay. Because I was wondering if you had an attic window, or a window that was close enough that you could just, even the second story window, if you could just, open the window, have a pressure washer all loaded up, hose run to it, and just stick your hand above it, pop the power washer up in there and spray down. That might be an option for you.
It's not high enough. I can't get at the gutters from any of the
Follow my
windows.
logic here. Here's another crazy suggestion. You got a leaf blower?
My neighbor does, that I can borrow at any time. Yeah. All right. So I think I see where you're going with this.
Get some PVC piping long enough to go, attach that. Build 20 feet of PVC piping on top of that. Hit the leaf blower.
Might work.
Might not work, but it might work.
No job's too big. I mean, you could try, right? If it doesn't work, then you call a professional.
Yeah, you walk 10 feet up the ladder where you feel comfortable and safe. You put the extension of all the piping on there, attach that, duct tape that son of a bitch to the leaf blower, then turn the leaf blower on, just let that bastard go wild. That's all the issues. The problem is you better do that soon, because where you live, the snow's coming.
Monday, buddy. 2 days from now. I won't say what the date is, but we're recording here. It is October, and apparently the snow is coming on Monday. So,
see, the problem is if your gutters are clogged and you get heavy snow on the roof, when it starts melting, it's going to just refreeze at the end, because it's going to have no place to drain down, and then it's going to put pressure on your roof, and then you're looking at a $30,000 job to get a new roof put on there, because I know, I'm not trying to have you dead. It'd be very hard to replace you. I mean, I'm already concerned. I have put Wasted on mute because he's in a wind tunnel again. When you're out of a wind tunnel, Wasted, you can unmute yourself. So far we already have to worry about Wasted for when China invades Taiwan, if they're just going to execute Wasted. So we might be out Wasted. I mean, I don't want to lose you too.
There's little to no chance I'm going on a ladder that high up. I mean, I got no problem going on the first story if I have to get on top of the garage or something. I have no problem there, but I'm not going that high. It's as high as the Green Monster, for God's sakes. I'm not going up that high, man.
Yeah, I can understand.
Yeah.
But, Wasted, unmute yourself.
Hello.
Liarz, I think this is going to end our topic on the handyman segment. And Wasted, I'm going to have you go on our next topic right now and tell them about the grand idea to make us all millionaires. Sound like a plan?
Yeah.
Yep. Thanks. There.
Thank
Go
you.
Wasted.
Well, everybody knows OnlyFans is a good way to make money if you're up for it. But it's a bit uncomfortable to do that kind of thing. All the shame, especially for guys. It's not really for guys.
Yeah.
But then I saw this site called OnlyFeet, and it seems like it's just the same as OnlyFans, but you just take videos and pictures of your feet and you put them online, and people will pay you to
behind a paywall
pictures of your feet. And I was just thinking, is that really that bad? That's not a difficult thing to do. If you can get like $50 for like pouring like yogurt over your feet on OnlyFeet, I mean, you can make quite a lot of money if every day you just take a picture of your feet. I mean, you might not have the most beautiful feet, but there's a load of freaks out there, and they seem to like all kinds of different types of feet. So, as ugly as your feet are, they might still make money on OnlyFeet. What's the catch? Am I missing something? Why aren't we doing this?
What makes a foot attractive? Is it the nail to cuticle ratio? Is it the length of the toes? I don't know what an attractive foot looks like.
But I mean, if you've got nasty feet like me, you still got a chance, because there's like weirdos that just like horrible feet. Just like they like on OnlyFans, they don't always like the most beautiful people on OnlyFans. Not the only ones making money. You can make money if you've got like horrible growth. Like my nail, I've got a nail that's always like curling in, trying to burrow into my toe, and I've got a broken big toe nail because I stubbed it. I still think if you could put your like feet online, if there's people willing to pay you $10 per picture, and you build up a following, it's not like humiliating, is it? Nobody knows who you are. It's just your feet.
Just your feet.
So what's the catch? Why wouldn't you do that? If some weirdo in Alaska is going to give you $50 a day to see you pour different types of liquid on your feet, why wouldn't you do it?
I'm all in. Listen. If you guys want me to do, like, if you want me to step in peanut butter and give me like $50, I'm fucking all game. As long as I gotta put my feet in like shit or some really disgusting crap like that, I'm alright. You want me to throw salami on my feet? Fucking A. Give me the $50. So if someone wants to see my nasty ass fucking 13-inch or size 13 fucking feet, go right ahead.
I could see like sweaty feet videos, and you just build up a following of freaks that like sweaty feet, and every day you just, you stream your feet after they come out of your shoes for like 15 minutes, then you put it online. I mean, this is what robots allow us to then do these types of things. I mean, if you don't have to
creative,
housework,
there you go.
You can just be on OnlyFeet all day. I don't know. How would you do that? Would you put your feet online?
Yeah.
It's kind of like an extension of being like a hand model.
Oh, dude, I'm taking offers right now. I mean, I'm fucking good to go.
I don't think I would.
I tried to get an account, but they blocked me. But in the US, they must be able to get an account really easily. They're not going to block you.
We'll get a VPN wasted for the return on the investment for yourself. I mean, just think of all the trips to McDonald's, buddy. Yeah, but you got to imagine, there's women out there right now that are making, hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars, just selling their feet pics. Like,
yeah, I think
nothing.
Even guys could do it. There must be a niche market.
I don't know, but I know this is real.
Playboy and play feet. Maybe we need a magazine.
Man, there's some sick fucking people out there.
I think this is a topic.
I think this is a topic we need to revisit in the future. I think we need to do some research on OnlyFeet. It's sprung this on us, or sprung this on me at least, spontaneously. I can't even talk now. Sorry. Anyway, you know what I'm saying. And it's changing my world here. So I need to do some research on OnlyFeet. And then, because as of right now, I don't think I would put my feet on the internet, even if you're paying me. But with the emergence of this site, OnlyFeet, I think I may change my view on the subject.
But it's basically anonymous, you know. It's not like you're like wearing a thong on OnlyFeet and showing your feet. It's just your foot, like in.
It's my feet. I don't give a shit. You can know exactly who I am. I don't got to be anonymous. Listen, you want to pay me $50 for a damn foot pic? I don't care. I have no shame in showing off my feet.
I mean, if you had to like have your like passport online and people knew who you were, you know, and the details would get. Imagine getting doxxed for being on OnlyFeet at work.
I wouldn't give a fuck.
Finds out who you are, and they say you're putting your feet online. Would you lose your job for that? No. So.
Like, what's the difference if I show up to work in sandals? You know, big fucking deal.
You should be executed for wearing sandals.
Well, I mean, wait a second. You're the one who needs to be worried about being executed here. With freaking China getting ready to invade Taiwan, and you owning copies of Chinese Democracy, being a white British man in Taiwan. It ain't looking good for you, bud.
Yeah, the number of Google searches for Chinese Democracy I have are the highest in the world.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a problem for you. Speaking of problems for you, Wasted, since Liarz wants to talk about this at another time, what's going on in Wasted's daily life lately? How's the drinking been?
Yeah, I'm just normal day-to-day life.
You were going to say something, Liarz?
No, I was just going to say I'm fully available to talk about it right now and keep on this conversation, but I think we need to revisit it again too, because it's very interesting. OnlyFeet, because I don't know, man. What?
I may have missed something. I don't know. Well, I don't know what the catch is. Is there something that I don't know that like you can't do it, or it seems too easy?
Does seem too easy.
Like, are there laws against putting your feet online?
Well, there probably is in Canada. I mean, there's a website called OnlyFeet. It's a buy and sell of feet videos. This is a very large subgenre, fetish, if you will. Welcome to Feet Finder.
There's multiple sites.
Multiple sites that revolve around high-quality feet pictures or videos. Feetify. Feet Finder versus OnlyFans. This is a plethora. And you know what's funny about Feetify.com is that you go on the website and the first thing you see is this very attractive girl and you don't even see her feet. So it's odd. But as you scroll down, it's just pictures of people's feet, and you got the soles of their feet, you got their toes, their ankles. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. But
well, on that note, Liarz.
Yes.
Speaking of feet, you know who has weird feet probably, or he has great feet? We don't know. But we're going to find out right now, because we're going to be joined right now by the fourth member of the team, Frans. And Frans is going to tell us about seeing Duff McKagan. So, Frans, What's going on?
Yeah, exactly. I went to I went to Duff. You know, he is doing now a tour through Europe and solo tour with his latest album. And yeah, I figured he came to the Netherlands, so I figured to check that out. You know, and yeah, I have to say I didn't. I expected it to be dull as fuck. You know, because I don't like his latest 3 albums. They're boring and. I didn't even listen to them, so I can't know, but yeah, the songs I heard from it were not that good, but yes, so I decided to go anyways, and it was boring as fuck actually, so, so yeah, and you know, the thing is, it wasn't that expensive, so I figured, let's see, and there were no, let's see him, and it was a really small venue, you know, and it wasn't even sold out. So, and they changed even the venue because it was in a building with multiple venues, and they, went to a smaller venue actually. So that's not a good sign. And it was quite intimate show because there were, I think, maybe 1,000 people, maybe max, I think.
Right.
And and you know, he played, it was weird. He played one GNR song, which was actually pretty good, crazy, but that was the only highlight like that.
Stop saying you're crazy.
Yeah, he did.
Really?
I posted a video somewhere on Facebook or somewhere. But you know, the thing is, I liked his older work, you know, back in the day. But ever since Duff, have you read that piece in Matt's book where? Because he was best friends with Matt, you know, Matt Sorum, and how he fucking backstabbed him, and like, such a fucking thing to do. So, I kind of dislike him since then, but you know, he's just Guns N' Roses, and I had to go. And like I said, he did a lot of new songs, and he also covered this Elton John song. I think he even put it out as a single.
Rocket Man.
Is that Rocket Man? No.
Okay, he covered a Bob Dylan song. Not a Bob Dylan song.
David Bowie song.
David Bowie song, which was covered later by Jacob Dylan of the Wallflowers, Heroes, which is great because it's just, okay, we could beat them. Yeah.
So, and he did one song by Loaded. I like this Loaded stuff. Some songs were cool and stuff, but yeah, it was just him. I mean, his band was unknown for me, and they had a pre-show, and I actually liked the pre-show more.
Did you meet him?
Fuck, are you in the station?
Am I in the station?
I'm muting you, buddy. You are loud. Yeah, there we go.
Did you meet him, Frans?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Well, actually, I did not meet him, but I did met him when I went to Prague in 2023, I think. Guns N' Roses were performing in Prague, and I was sitting on the terrace drinking some beers, and then I suddenly saw somebody walking, and I thought, hey, is that Duff? I said to my buddy, is that Duff? And he said, yeah, definitely. So, yeah, we figured, what do we do? So we chased him, like 2 screaming girls, leaving our terrace seats.
Weren't you live on the Fatcast that evening?
That's right.
Yes, I was. I did. No, well, after that show, yeah. But he was earlier. I was in the city earlier, and he too. So the show took place like 2 days later, but nobody saw him, and he was like had a mouth mask on, and so we ran to him and said, "Hey, can we have an autograph?" And then he dragged us into this candy store to take quick pictures because he was kind of incognito, and he was happy nobody recognized him. So then we took a picture, and we could hardly say anything. But yeah, we took a picture with him, and that was kind of fun. But but I didn't meet him not this time. You could do flip tickets, but
I gotta say, of his last 2 albums, he did Tenderness with Shooter. I want to say Shooter McGavin, but that's
Jenkins.
Shooter Jennings. And then his latest album, Lighthouse. I have both of those albums. Tenderness is a hot pile of shit. I was actually kind of excited that he was working with Shooter Jennings, and when the finished product came out, I was like, it's terrible. But his latest album, Lighthouse, I was listening to it a lot there for a while when it came out. I really enjoyed it, actually. It's pretty laid back. I could see where you would say that a show was boring, because the songs are very, well, they're acoustic almost, kind of, and very, very, very laid back, slow tempo, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Lighthouse. So I guess you don't know which songs he played off Lighthouse and which songs he played off Tenderness, right?
Well, actually, he played. He also played that cover what he also did on the Guns tour, I think. That was an old song from the Stooges, right? Throw Arms Around a Memory. Is that the song?
You can't put your arms around a memory.
Yeah, wasn't that the song that they also did with GNR?
Yeah, that's one.
But
I was hoping you would do Attitude, because
everybody
better than woke Duff singing Attitude.
Everybody
lines like, "You got some attitude inside that bitter brain. There's got to be a whore. If you don't shut your mouth, you're gonna feel the floor." I mean, boy,
but
you're gonna feel the floor. Yeah, attitude. You got a fucking attitude.
Well, people screamed for that song the whole time. And,
did they scream for Attitude?
Yeah, people in the crowd.
It's a hit for sure.
And he won't do it now.
Forgiveness.
No, he sang it when I was in Edmonton last year. He sang it with Guns, GNR. I'm positive.
I want to be your dog. I want to be your dog. They also.
I want to be your dog. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
But that was from school. But he played that only a minute. I don't know why. But Tenderness he played, and Forgiveness, Holy Water, Fallen. I don't know.
Did he play any Velvet Revolver?
No. Only he played one Loaded song, Wasted Heart, which was actually a bit louder and faster and more punk, as he says. So, but yeah, all in all, it was just a bit dull. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad music, but it's definitely not my genre. This soft shit. But I just had to go, and I met some people that I know from the community in Holland. So yeah, that's always nice to meet those. And it was like only $40. So
yeah.
I was going to ask you, because I'm a big Velvet Revolver guy, and so are you. And now, just going through my mind when you said that you play any Velvet Revolver songs, I don't remember him really singing on any Velvet Revolver songs. Like, I don't even remember background much.
So, Scott took that over. That was, from what I understand, and from what I remember, I could be remembering wrong, but that was like some contention in the band between Duff and Matt and Scott, because they wanted to sing backup, and Scott was like, "No, I sing backup. I do the vocals. I'll do the backup." So all the backups you hear on the album is Scott.
Yeah, because I was like trying to think of any song I could hear Duff in, and I'm like, no. Yeah, I couldn't come up with one.
So
he also has got some shows. He also has, because he's still in Europe right now, and he's going to do like France and Sweden, but he's also going to do some shows in the States after that. Not too many, but yeah. So would you go if he would play near you?
He's going to the Pacific Northwest, so he's going to be finishing in Seattle. I do want to go to the show. I don't know if I'll be able to get down there. Seattle's about a 12-hour drive from me, or
you considering that?
I'm considering it. Yeah, I'm
really?
considering it. I'd like to see Duff. I'd also, if I do end up going, I'd get the meet and greet too, because I don't know, I'd like to meet Duff. I don't know, he's still Duff, right? But he's kind of.
Is he?
Yeah, but he's fucking spineless.
Yeah, man. I don't know, he's still Duff. I think as much grief that we give the band as it is now, I think it'd still be cool to meet Duff.
Hey, I'm not gonna shit on you. You do what makes you happy. If it makes you happy, then it's not that bad. I think Sheryl Crow said that, so we'll just we'll go with that, because my personal opinion of Duff is he wrote a book about how to be a man, and then in the last decade or more than a decade since he wrote that book, it looks like he's trying to do everything he can do not to be a man. But hey, God bless him. God bless him.
I got this picture, I turned this into a meme of how to be a butt fucker. Because he fucked Matt up, and I tweeted it to Matt. Yeah, it was a great picture, actually. But, I just went because of the stuff and for classic times, and well, it wasn't that cheap, expensive, so why not? It wasn't exactly what I expected to be.
Duff wrote a book called How to Be a Man. I'm actually in the process of writing a book right now. No jokes, all jokes aside. I'm in the process of writing a book right now, How to Be a Suburban Dad. It's going to be like a satire take on Duff's book, and it's about everything that you have to do to be successful in the suburbs, which is an art form in itself, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, and that's going to lead us to our another topic later tonight that we're going to get into with you. But Frans, is there anything else from the Duff concert that you have?
No, not really, man. I mean, no, actually, no. I mean, it seems such a small tour, and I think I think he had 2 guitarists with him and a drummer, and I'm like, how much would you earn if you played for such a? I mean, it's not even worth it making it overseas. I mean, if you have this whole entourage with you, I mean,
I think there's probably some name recognition involved there, and that he's guaranteed a certain amount per show. So, if it wasn't, I don't think he's really doing it for the money. I think he's fairly well set up financially. I think he pays his band. They probably pays him fairly decent, I would imagine. And it's about getting out and going to see other countries and having fun. I don't know. That's how I would see it, right? I think his main bread and butter for sure is GNR these days, without a doubt.
Yeah, true. Yeah. I mean, I know Slash is like that. I mean, he needs to be on stage. He can't be sitting at home, but Axel obviously isn't. But it seemed so small, and it almost seemed like, I mean, he's used to these big venues. I mean, how would that be if you go to these small venues that even don't sell out? I mean, must be an insult almost. I don't know.
Would it though? I don't know. Would it? I mean,
he didn't take it like that, but well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it would be. I think it's exactly what he wants it to be. I think he could make it as big or as small. He's at that level. He's an A-lister. He's a permanent A-lister. So I think he's at the level where he could make it as big or as small as he wants it to.
The weird thing though is, if you look in the crowd, there's also sometimes really young people, and then you think, how the fuck can you know Duff? I mean,
Duff is not an A-lister, number one. That's fucking ridiculous.
You don't think so?
I don't say either.
I would say he's an A-lister.
No.
Slash and Axel are A-listers.
Slash is barely an A-lister. Slash is an A-lister by name and fame, not because the people are like, oh my god, I just listened to his last 4 records.
Well,
that's how Duff is an A-lister, by name and fame.
But Duff, even like when you think Guns N' Roses, you don't go, oh yeah, Duff McKagan. You think Slash and Axel.
Axel, Slash, and then Duff. Yeah, for sure.
Or Izzy.
Yeah.
Nobody outside of our group knows who Izzy is. I mean,
you're out of your ever-loving mind, dude. Anyone that was actually around back in the day watching Guns N' Roses, on MTV, they all know who Izzy is. And then we replaced him with the fucking, they replaced him with Gilby. Like, who the fuck is this guy?
Honestly, I would have thought he would fill the
that, but I mean,
no.
I think Duff's books took him to a broader audience, didn't they? In the sort of wider media.
Yeah, if you're a Starbucks guy driving a Volvo around wearing a fucking sweater, listening to NPR,
it's still people. I mean, and he's got a show on Sirius XM, Ozzy's Boneyard. He does a show every week on there. I mean, he's got shit going on, man.
But he's not like Michael Jackson. He's not like an A-lister.
No.
Maybe
he's not A-lister. I would say
maybe even Axel isn't an A-lister really anymore.
So is Dee Snider A-lister in your book? Because, he's got a show on, radio, and, Twisted Sister hasn't done shit since, probably before I was born.
I mean, I would consider an A-lister, yeah. For sure.
I was kind of surprised.
If they're playing your county fairs, they're not A-listers, bud.
But it's name recognition.
Yeah, but
people know Dee Snider from Twisted Sister. People know that.
I don't think so either. Of course. But
not under the age of 40.
If you're talking about GNR, you're talking about Slash and Axel all the time. I think.
Yeah.
That's how I think. And he didn't fill up the venue, which I thought he would. But so that's why I thought, man, what's the use of this tour? I mean, going out there and play, of course. But other than that,
Yeah, Duff has changed so much that, does he still play songs from Believe in Me?
No, I wish he did, man. I wish he did, because those albums were. Oh yeah, that song was of Beautiful Disease.
Because that's the thing, that he's the one who seems to have changed the most. Axl, from the outside, you couldn't necessarily see that he's really changed his lifestyle. You can't tell what he does. And Slash, maybe you can tell.
Speaking of,
Duff is very public about, he tells the whole story about his rehabilitation, and the mainstream media loves that sort of stuff.
Sure.
So I think
by the way, one more thing. Did anyone see this performance? Axl was on stage again with, what's this guy called? In Memphis?
Billy Joel.
Yeah. He was there again. And did anyone see it or hear it? Or
We've all seen it, Frans.
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
No, I didn't hear it. Let's put it that way. I saw some pictures, but.
If you go to badapplesforum.com, we have the videos up.
Yeah, I didn't bother to listen, but was it any good, or was it the same old Axl vocally?
My opinion is it's better than it has been. It's not 2016. It's not, 2006 era Axl. It's not the 90s or 80s era Axl. But it's as good as you're going to get him nowadays, and he looks healthy for the first time in a long time. He doesn't look like he's doing any cosmetic shit to his face or anything weird, and looks like he's got the weight under control, and his voice sounded all right. I mean, he went, ha!
Oh, he did Live and Let Die, right?
Yeah.
Is that what he did, Live and Let Die?
Oh, yeah, he went,
ha!
Yeah.
And Dizzy looks bald now.
Does he?
Yeah, when he's in that video, when he's on piano playing with Axl, Live and Let Die, and Fortus looks like an extra from The Sopranos.
That's not their band, Wasted. That was Billy Joel's band. That's probably your confusion there, bud.
Probably why it didn't look like them.
Yeah.
Dizzy took his wig off.
So one thing pops to my mind again, because I heard, maybe it's been discussed, I don't think so, because this show is totally not about GNR, but there was talk that Slash was going to perform or record an album with the Miles Kennedy again, which I kind of hoped he wouldn't.
He is.
But,
they're doing another SM Smash. So Slash, Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators album, they're doing it again, and they're going to be recording in about a month to 2 months from now, and they're going to go on tour probably right afterwards.
Yeah, because there's pretty heavily talk and rumors that GNR will return in 2025, so that might endanger an appearance of Guns N' Roses again. But if Slash is going to continue with Miles, any thoughts?
I don't think it's going to endanger anything. Slash will go where the payday is when it is, and he'll just tell his side project, his side chick, listen, we'll perform when Axl doesn't want to perform. And it's not like GNR is going to be able to sell at arenas right now. The economy here in the States is going to shit. And people aren't going to concerts like they used to. And what Guns N' Roses have to really draw somebody in? They're going to release, 2 more Chinese leftovers, maybe 3 Chinese leftovers? I mean, that's not going to be like, oh my God, folks, we got to go to the stadium. They're leaving stadiums and heading back to arenas, and sooner rather than later are probably going to be heading back to Vegas residencies. So, I mean, you can only go to Brazil and South America so many times. They've already done so many world tours, and what are they doing new? And there's not a lot of new.
Do you expect a new tour, 2025 GNR?
What do you mean by tour? Like, do you mean like how many dates are we talking?
From world tour again.
No, I don't expect a world tour.
Okay. Well, there's heavy rumors about it. But.
Well, maybe a residency in Las Vegas. I could see that.
Yeah, in the Sphere, You see this fat face of Axl in the Sphere,
We already talked about the Sphere as a possibility a couple episodes ago, but I mean,
we did.
They're probably going to do shows that they know they can sell, and that's you'll get limited dates, kind of like how Oasis is touring right now, where it's like, all right, we're going to put our show in the venues that we know we can sell. And that's what I expect Guns N' Roses to do. They'll do some shows in the United States, maybe some over in Europe, but they're only going to do shows that they know they can sell. They're not going to do like, hey, let's do a whole world tour and hit each city, and then we'll jump from continent to continent. They don't have the new music to back it up, and I bet they're tired. I mean, you gotta imagine, dude, Axl's old, and it's more wearing on him than it is anyone to perform.
Sure. I agree, man. He has to come with new material to be able to fill some shit up. But in general, when you go to GNR right now, Chinese democracy songs, everybody goes talking and taking a piss and drinks. So I wonder if they would have to. I mean, the real fans would be interested, or the real fans, the hardcore fans, they would be interested in those songs, but not the local crowd or the nostalgic crowd, I think. So
we've discussed this in the past, Frans.
Sure,
I believe next year. No, what I was leading you into something else. I was saying I believe next year Axl gets back all the publishing rights. So he will have all the publishing rights, so he can sell up the whole GNR catalog, make a shit ton of money.
She did.
Yeah, and once that happens, I don't know. I think you're going to get, dates where he does like the Sphere with like, hey, come see Guns N' Roses next Halloween at the Sphere or some shit like that.
And they have
like a week or two.
Axl in the background sound, they did it before, commercial, and then have a classic GNR play in the background.
They'll do a bunch of different stuff, but I think right now the idea of a world tour next year is probably not going to happen because, they've been back together now since 2016, so 9 years almost. And, you can only tour for 9 years with no new album release for how long?
It's crazy that they already did a third world tour with the same sort of shit, so yeah. But then we'll see, man.
Liarz, wasted thoughts?
The likely, they might go on. I could see them if they toured across Canada. They'd sell out every show. The last time they were in, they played Edmonton, which I went to last year, and they played Toronto and Vancouver on this leg of the stadium tours of Not in a Lifetime. I guarantee you, if they went to Montreal, actually, I think they went to Montreal too in that show. Regardless, if they went to smaller places like Ottawa, Winnipeg, Saskatoon, Calgary. Maybe somewhere in British Columbia other than Vancouver, I could see them totally still selling out, for sure.
So you're talking like how they were touring back in 2010, 2011 of New GNR.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
That makes sense. Instead of trying to sell out, Gillette Stadium here, they go to the Worcester Centrum. Makes sense.
Exactly. Yeah.
But they're not going to be playing the Middle East or
no,
Dubai
or Taiwan.
Ukraine.
Did he ever play in Taiwan? I guess not. No.
They might do. Have they even been to Asia? They've been to Japan.
Haven't they been to China?
Yeah, they've been to Asia.
But they can't get into China.
Could you imagine Chinese democracy cranking in fucking Shanghai? If Axl decided he was going to do, picture this, guys. I want you to follow my logic, kid. You remember when the Beatles, they went on top and they performed on the rooftop, or when U2 did that back in the day?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay, now listen. Axl, Slash, and Duff, grab any shit drummer you want. And they go to Tiananmen Square and they perform Chinese democracy. You could bring us all back.
They'd be assassinated.
Yeah, maybe, but it'd be still amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. The entertainment value alone, buddy. Come on.
I don't know, man. Yeah. It would be phenomenal. Yes, it would be phenomenal. But yeah, I think China would assassinate Axl.
I'm pretty sure when the Chinese invade Taiwan and they find copies of Chinese democracy on Wasted, that's what's going to get him done. That's what's going to get a bullet in his head.
Do you remember the video?
You could buy bootleg copies of Chinese democracy in China. That was the first copy I got because it was ahead of time.
Was it at a Chinese dollar store?
Kind of. Everything in the DVD store and CD shop are fakes, but they've come from the factory that makes them or something.
Do you remember this?
They've been copied.
Do you remember the video I released about this Russian private concert he did?
No.
That would be. Yeah, well, he did this private concert in Russia for this millionaire, and I somehow got the picture, snippets of it or parts of it. Anyways, I released that, and that was really weird to see, man. It would be crazy if he would be there again, just for some millionaire making some money, and then.
Frans, they stand with Ukraine. Don't you see their little arm bandages and their flags?
Yeah, of course. That's what would make.
But they went for a billionaire that was a Russian oligarch that's definitely in with Putin. It's not like they would sell their souls for money, not GNR.
No, I guess not.
Hey, Frans, by the way, what's your website, Frans, that you have all these videos on so that, the viewing audience can actually go watch these videos without having to be worried about, them getting taken down? What's that website again?
No, I have this Facebook page. You should check the videos. You should check on the Dutch fan page from Guns N' Roses. And I do have a website which is called GNFNR, as in a pirate, with 3 R's. But that's all about bootlegs and bootleg info. There's no videos actually on there. So, yeah. And there's some downloads, of course. But you can't straight watch videos. Actually, one more thing. I just found out. That's really, I couldn't believe it, man. Some guy told me you could actually download all your videos you posted to YouTube back in the day. So, and I was like, no way. And also uncompressed. And somehow I tried it and it worked, man. I could download my whole GNR channel with the original uploaded quality, It's crazy. It was like 500 gigabytes. And this channel is like 5 years dead already, and it still was possible to do that. I was like really amazed. So, yeah, I got that whole collection back. It's pretty cool, I think.
Nice. Well, that's funny. I'm sure somebody's not going to be happy to hear that, but it's funny to me.
Yeah. I wonder what happened to him, anyways.
None of my business, none of my concern.
No, exactly. So, guys, man, I thank you for having me. I'm gonna, go to bed, I think. And,
well, have a great night, and we look forward to having you back on the show again. Mind you, folks, it's 3 a.m. where Frans is recording right now, so we'll move on to our next topic here. But Frans, thank you very much, and
thank you, guys.
Later, brother.
Talk to you next time. Take care.
See you, buddy.
Yo, bye.
Bye.
All right, that was interesting. We had some Duff McKagan talk in there. I find everything Duff does to be boring. Got a little GNR talk in there tonight, too. Liarz, is there anything else going on in your world?
I'm good. I'm going to be feetifying myself here, so if you need me, I'll be on the feet sites.
Yeah, that's... yeah. We'll just leave that there, I guess, and move on. Wasted, what else is going on in your world? So far, how is the bathroom situation? Is the bathroom door locked today at the 7-Eleven?
Yeah, this is a different 7-Eleven. These have got like luxury toilets, and they're not onto me yet.
What's a luxury toilet?
I don't know. It's just a really nice one. The other one was like disgusting. This one is like a modern toilet, and there's like toilets for men and women separate. And it's sort of brand new.
Hello?
Are you planning on visiting it there today?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, see if there's any stray toilet paper around that nobody's using at the moment.
So you're still the toilet thief bandit of Taiwan.
Yeah, running a bit low.
How's your neighbor doing?
I don't know. I don't think I've seen them that. I just don't. I don't acknowledge them. Just hope that hope they just don't report me again.
My God, I love you, Wasted.
Why, that he's a toilet thief bandit and he's running low, so he's out for his weekly resupply?
My God, I love it. I love you, Wasted. You are the best.
And the funny part is, it's not that he's poor; he's just really cheap.
It's so true.
Waste not, want not. I mean, they're just giving away free. Like I can see on the top of that bin over there, they've got a whole packet of tissues. I mean, it could be. I mean, this is for customers, so they'll just replace it if I take it.
True. Yes, they will.
They'll just say, "Oh, all the tissues have gone."
Beautiful. It was great.
Wasted any other fun journeys or adventures since we've last spoke?
Not really. I've just been. Well, we had that typhoon that kept me inside for a week, so the world was safe for a week.
Have you watched any new films yet? Wasted any new movie reviews?
No, most of the ones that I watched haven't been like good. You know, from like 2022 and 2024, I've watched some movies. None of them have been particularly good. Like that Rebel Ridge one that I watched.
We've already talked about that one. Did you? Is Megalopolis playing yet in Taiwan?
No, not yet. I'm checking the site. It's got to come here eventually. But I watched some TV series called Traitors that's set in the UK. That was all right. I'm really limited to Netflix though. There's not very that much on Netflix. You know, I'm surprised. Some things are good, but there's a lot of foreign, like Spanish movies that look good. They look like a crime thriller, but they end up being sort of like a, Argentinian or something with subtitles. So
yeah, Netflix has gone way downhill. You got Seinfeld on Netflix, though, I believe.
Yeah, it's got Rambo, the latest Rambo, not the first one, and it's got something called Halloween Ends.
Don't watch that.
That's what I mean.
It's
There's
horrible.
like slightly oddball stuff on Netflix that's like not the one you want to watch. Goodfellas.
Well, it's weird because Netflix. It used to be back in the day. You had Netflix, you had Hulu, and you had Amazon. Those were the only three, and they had pretty much everything you wanted. Now in the States, and I imagine Canada has the same things, we have Netflix, we have Hulu, we have Amazon Prime, we have NBC, which has Peacock, you have Paramount Plus, you have HBO Max. There's even more, and it's just everything now is so spread out. It's basically like having cable again, where if you want to watch, certain shows, you have to have this stuff, or you have to, have a Fire Stick or another way of watching it. It's insanity how streaming went from a really affordable, cheap option where most of the time it was like $5 for, Netflix, $5 for Hulu. I think Amazon was like under $10 if you were a Prime member for everything, and now it's now it's just super high. Are you dealing with that too, Liarz, up in Canada?
So I have Amazon Prime. So you pay for your yearly Amazon Prime subscription, and then the movie that's how it used to be. Is that it used to be a Prime member, it used to get you free shipping on Amazon, and then it came with the Prime TV, right? So that's And how much is your Netflix now, man? My Netflix is $20 a month, man.
Yep.
Is that hello?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, is yours $20 a month?
Yeah.
I think I can't hear you, man. Anyway, so I was saying, it's I have Prime and Netflix, and
can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah,
it's insane how much Netflix, and the quality that's on Netflix isn't anywhere near what it used to be. So
no, Hulu used to be $5 a month. I just got told it's going up to $10 a month.
We don't have Hulu in Canada.
Oh, Hulu's great. Hulu's probably my favorite.
I know of it, and I've actually tried to get Hulu in Canada through a VPN and stuff because it's that good. Yeah, it's better than anything we have up here that's not cable, man.
But they have all gone up in price about $5 to $10 each. Like things that used to be $5 are now $10. Things that used to be $10 or $15 are now $20. It's getting crazy, and it's going to keep going that way, and it's not going to change because cable TV is dying. It's a dying breed. There's nothing really to watch on cable anymore. I remember back in the day, cable TV was everything, and now no one really watches it. Like kids, we're old men. We just are. Kids these days, they don't even watch TV. Like, they could give two shits it's on streaming. They just want to go on YouTube and watch whatever whatever shorts on there or whatever YouTubers doing, whatever they're doing. Like, they don't care.
That's exactly it, man. Yeah. It's crazy. Like, if I put on actually today, it happened today. My kids don't understand that on, network TV, cable TV, you can't fast forward the commercials. They're like, well, just fast forward. I'm like, no, you can't. Like, why? Like, well, that's because it's on cable. Oh, then they don't like it, right? It's the YouTube, right? YouTube generation. And not that that's a bad thing. I think it's great, but it's just different.
Well, instead of live sports, what is there on TV now that anyone cares about?
Not much, man. Not much.
That's the last thing they got, and they're making that harder and harder. Like, tomorrow, for me to watch the Patriots game, luckily I have Amazon Prime, so I can watch the Pats game. But, you know, if I didn't have Amazon Prime, no Patriots game.
Crazy, man.
Because they got to be over in London, so they start at 9:30 in the morning, which, that's stupid.
So, it's the same in Canada. If, what's it on what's it on up here? Actually, I don't think we even get it up here, period. I have to get it through a VPN and watch it on the American feed of the NFL Network. You're talking about the London games, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I don't know. Is it? I got to either watch it on the NFL Network or I got to watch it on the Amazon tomorrow. I don't know which one it's on, but you get, like, back in the day, everything just used to be on basic cable. Like, everything was on basic cable.
Yeah.
You had an antenna, you were ready to go. Nowadays, it's one thing I do love, and we'll end the show after this, but my government, and I don't know if your guys' government is saying the same thing, but they keep saying inflation's under control. But every time I go into the grocery store, have to buy something, or, you know, pay a bill, it's all going up and up and up and up.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy insane, how much it's gone up. It's a shrinkflation. You know, our groceries are way smaller now, but cost way more. Insurances are crazy. Like, the medical industry has gone absolutely insane. They're almost impossible to deal with. I don't know, man. I don't know. But I think it's about that time. Waste, is there anything you want to say before we punch out?
No. Maybe you should just get all your food from 7-Eleven.
They're actually closing a bunch of 7-Elevens now, dude.
What?
Really?
We need to do something about it.
Yeah. Well, hold on. I guess maybe we should, you guys chitter-chatter here for a second, but I will send this in the thing so Liarz can read it off. But yeah, they're closing a shit ton of 7-Elevens here in the States.
It's like the last vantage point of culture. Like, when everybody's homeless, there'll only be 7-Elevens.
Now, it might be expensive, but you can get pretty much all your food groups at 7-Eleven, right?
Yeah, from all kinds of different foods as well. But it's all like in sort of miniature serving, you know, one.
Sure. That's why I say it probably costs a lot of money. But you can, like, technically you could, because they sell fruit there, right? They sell, like, packaged salads and stuff. So bananas. There's fruit and vegetables. They sell yogurts and grains. I know that for sure. Do they sell any meat other than the processed meat?
They do here, yeah. They're a packet of ham, Kraft slices,
right.
The frozen steaks.
Oh, really?
Frozen chicken breasts. Well, they've actually got sort of chicken breasts and pork or beef in little plastic packages, like a chicken breast in like Italian herbs in a like a plastic package, and you just microwave it. Right. You basically empty that chicken breast on top of your kind of like spaghetti carbonara, and then get a boiled egg as well. I don't think it's more expensive than the supermarkets here because of inflation. Like if you try to just make spaghetti bolognese, like, or say spaghetti with tomato sauce, it's probably going to cost you like $10-$12. Whereas if you just buy the microwave spaghetti carbonara from 7-Eleven, it's only like probably $2, $3.
Right.
So it's kind of, I guess if you're feeding a family of 4, though, you have to buy 4 of them. So it's this, you're getting it back up.
Yeah.
It's just, but there's so much variety in 7-Eleven. You basically like can tour the entire world. You know, you're eating sushi, spaghetti from Italy. You know, there's just food from all around the world. Canadian ham.
Right.
Canadian ham sticks.
Now, Wasted, I'm going to need you to calm down, because Liarz has got the article, and he's perusing it right now. He's going to tell you some news. Now, Wasted, I don't want you to freak out, because I know to you this is like one of the 7 seals of the apocalypse breaking, so just be in a safe place, calm down, drink your beer. All right, you ready? Okay, good. All right, Liarz, tell him the news.
All right.
Let him hear it.
So, in an effort to gentle pruning of the chain to keep it efficient and profitable, 7-Eleven is closing 444 stores in the United States, Canada, and Mexico.
Maybe it's going to be 7-Eleven delivery. So instead of having all these shops, do people not go to 7-Eleven in the US?
No, they do. It just, right now, with the cost, like, dude, inflation's insane right now in the United States, Wasted. It is, It's absolutely insane. So, like, you know, the cost, because you got to imagine, the producers who produce the products for 7-Eleven, their costs have risen. The drivers who drive to 7-Eleven due to insurance or fuel costs, their cost has risen. So then 7-Eleven then has to raise their prices up. So when then 7-Eleven has to raise their prices up and pay their employees more so they can keep employees, so that they can actually have their store staffed, so that they can sell stuff to customers, the consumers then have to pay a higher price. And, you know, 7-Eleven, just like the Dollar Tree and the Dollar General stores, which are all closing too, they're losing a large consumer base just because it costs too much. It's beyond what their consumer base is used to spending. You know, you go into 7-Eleven, you expect a 99-cent coffee, or, you know, a Slurpee for $1.50, a big gulp under $2.
I went into 7-Eleven yesterday. I don't go into them very often, but I went into one yesterday and bought, you know, those like 500 ml bottles of Coke that you can buy, Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Or was it the 250, the 250 milliliter, the small ones, like the real small ones. Anyway, I got one of those of the new Oreo Coke, and dude, it was $3.75. I was like, pardon, excuse me?
Yeah. $3.
Give her a $5 bill expecting $4 back. It was $3.75. That price floored me. Shocked.
I'm sure here's $1. You know, it's like you get 2 bottles of the Oreo Coke, 600 milliliters for 45 Taiwan dollars, which is like $1.50. What about Oreo Coke Zero? That's just the weirdest.
Yeah, that's what I had. That's what I had. Oreo Coke Zero. That's what I bought.
Oreo. Maybe that's a luxury product. Like
Maybe.
Oreo.
I don't know.
Oreo flavor is strange.
When you see that 440 7-Eleven stores are closing across North America, what does that tell you? We've already told you about the androids and the robots that are taking over. We already know about all the political shit going on in the country right now and the rest of the world, all the wars breaking out, and now you're hearing that 7-Eleven is closing that many stores. 440 stores.
I think we're just being trained to live underground and not leave the house. Everything will be delivery and online. And there'll be some sort of climate change excuse or war or something, like nuclear war, all living underground, ordering from 7-Eleven or McDonald's.
Liarz, do you have any comments?
Well, 7-Eleven is right now, do you guys know Circle K?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're trying to buy 7-Eleven right now. The offer right now is at like $47.2 billion. So 7-Eleven might be bought out by Circle K, Couche-Tard, who knows?
Well, wasn't 7-Eleven sold to like a Japanese company a couple years ago or a decade ago or something like that?
That I don't know.
I think it was. That's why it's in Japan that they've taken 7-Eleven. They treat it like a luxury restaurant. You know what I mean? It's like a sort of fetishization of food. Same as in Taiwan. You know? It's like a cornerstone. Like without 7-Elevens, it's not an easy place to live. The convenience stores really help in these type of in places. You know, when it's all like you're living in apartment blocks, everybody, you have to have like corner shops in urban areas.
Well, buddy, I don't know, but I think that's probably a good time to wrap up the show. Unless if you have anything else, Wasted. Do you have anything?
No, not at this moment.
All right. Then, Liarz, you know what to do, buddy. Take us out. Take us home.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Look for us on YouTube. Hit like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Look for us on Spotify and everywhere else where you get your podcasts. And, just hit like and subscribe. Leave a comment, too. And I hope you enjoyed the show because we enjoyed doing it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, fame or shame, our next contestant, William Angio! All right, come on. we got a show to do.
You really suck, dude.
Wait a second.
Lovely.
How could I suck? I host a talent show, all right? I'm on national television, and I get paid a lot, all right? And I get chicks. Here, smell.
No, God.
All right? Oh, sorry, that was a sandwich. Smell.
No, I don't want to
okay?
smell your
She wasn't even that fat, all right? So I'm not gay. All right? Whatever. Let's get to it, okay? I am so desperate to hear you sing. I mean, last time you were fantastic. So you're going to do a Love Fist classic, right?
It was #1 in Germany for 19 weeks.
I'm sure you'll be fine. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
All right, it's fame or shame for William Angio! Fantastic. I'm moist. Let's take a break before we hear from the judges and find out if that was fame or shame. Whew, what do you guys think? You want to come see my trailer later? Come on. Come on.